What's the Church of Scientology so afraid of?
This is SPTV. Welcome back, everybody, for a little bit more SPTV. Perhaps more than just a little bit, because we're going to do a live Q&A, and we're going to be here for a while, you guys. I got nowhere to be. I'm here for the long haul this evening. I have titled this Q&A 1 year anniversary. I know people are already wondering, 1 year anniversary of what? And the answer is 1 year anniversary of uploading something every single day. That was really what kickstarted the growth of this channel. And I'm trying to remember what specifically it is that caused me to set that as a goal for myself. I remember one of the things that inspired me to do that is I personally love watching my favorite YouTubers. I watch the most random YouTube channels. There's one channel I love just about plumbing. Am I a plumber? No. Is plumbing a passion of mine? No. But there's this one guy who happens to be a plumber, who happens to upload the most entertaining content. And I just love watching the guy. Actually, he's not even on camera. He talks. He does voiceovers of plumbing jobs that he does. I don't even know what the guy looks like. All you ever see is his hands. But he's so funny. He's so entertaining that every day I'm like, ooh, I hope he has something new that I can watch. And one of the channels that sort of inspired me early on, I'm hesitate to name the channel because I don't necessarily love his content anymore, but I will. It's Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco is a guy who I just loved what he did on YouTube. I loved how he covered the news. I loved the production quality of what he did. I love how his videos were produced. And he did videos Monday through Friday. And whenever I would forget that it wasn't Monday through Friday, or whenever I would forget that he didn't upload every day, I would go and look for his new video that would always drop sometime around dinner time. And whenever I would realize, shit, I'm not getting another Philip DeFranco video for 3 days, I would be a little sad. And that was true for any of my favorite YouTube channels. Whenever I would go to their channel after not having checked in for a day or two, and there wasn't something new, I would just be a little bit sad. And you know what they say, be the change that you'd like to see in the world. And I was like, you know what? What if I made my channel? What if one of the aspects of my channel, there was a feature that made it different, or at least to a viewer like me, a better viewer experience than the channels I watch all the time? And you go, well, what do you mean by a better experience? Every single day someone checks to see, is there a new upload today? Every single day there would be at least something. I was like, you know what? That feels like a good goal. And also I was curious at the time if I could even pull it off. Because I had, when Mark Bunker was running for Clearwater City Council, I had said to him, hey, look, during the campaign season, you got to upload at least something to YouTube every single day. 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute video, doesn't matter. Upload something every day. And he wasn't able to do it because he said, yeah, that's easy to say. It's harder to do. And then when I was running for Clearwater City Council, I set that goal for myself. You got to upload something every day. And Mark would tease me, have you uploaded anything today? And I didn't, and I couldn't, and it was hard. And then at the end of my city council election, I lost only by a little bit, but I still lost. And I was sort of sulking for a few months. And then when I started uploading again, I was like, you know what? Is it even possible to follow the advice that I gave? The advice that I gave that I couldn't myself take. Is it even possible to follow that advice? And so that was the other prong that sort of motivated me to see, is it possible to upload something every day? And so I started. And guys, when I say it was 1 year ago, it's not like it was 1 year ago exactly to the day. I'm off by like a week or two. But that was what fueled the growth of this channel. Posting something every day. And then eventually it became twice a day. And then it became 3 times a day. And then every now and then it's even 4 times a day. And that's why I've started embracing the live streams, is because you don't have to do the editing. Editing is very, very time consuming. So anyway, guys, 1 year ago, this channel had 40,000 subscribers. And 1 year later, it now has, I'm creeping up right now on 170,000 subscribers. And 1 year ago, we only had a handful of channels that were regularly posting content, educating the world about Scientology's abusive policies and practices. And now, I mean, I don't know the exact count, but I feel like we're creeping up on perhaps even as high as 40 channels, depending on which channels count. I might even be thinking of channels who themselves don't think of themselves as counting. But, you know, between individual former Scientologists and people who've started channels, like, it's a lot. And I think that a year from now, we're going to have twice as much, really. It has been so much fun for me. It's been a blast. Okay, I'm a little confused. My chat is totally screwed up, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Oh, and by the way, one of the things that I'm going to be doing in the very near future here is, I don't know if a tutorial video is the right word for it. I want to do a video describing what is involved in order to create a channel, upload content, do the live streams, do the editing, sort of like almost sort of a how-to. I mean, maybe we'll even do a Q&A about it. I mean, if you're in the chat now and you have questions about the how-to of, you know, doing videos, doing a channel, producing the content, you know, technical questions or otherwise, please feel free, guys. I'm in it for the long haul this evening. But I will, no matter what we cover tonight in the live stream, I will create a standalone video sort of as a how-to. So it's my hope that there's dozens and dozens, hundreds of former Scientologists, public Scientologists, former staff members, former Sea Org members who probably have some idea that doing a channel like this is much more complicated than it really is. And it's my hope that if everyone truly understands how genuinely easy and simple it is, it does not require any money to get started, or hardly any. It does not require any technical skill. It does not have to be pretty or perfect to get started. Don't throw all of those ideas out the window. It is so freaking simple. And even to this day, I don't even have a dedicated camera that I use for these live streams. I am currently looking right into the back of my iPhone. And not even a dedicated iPhone that's always here and set up. No, that is my daily use phone. Every time I sit down to do a video, I got to get out my phone, put it on Do Not Disturb, hang it in the little, flexible tripod that it's hanging in, adjust it, make sure it's not crooked. By the way, guys, the general consensus is that my sign over here is straight, but my wall is crooked, and you are correct. When I built this wall, I could not find my level, and that's why the wall looks damn crooked. The barrier to entry to doing a channel like this is so ridiculously low. It would probably shock you. And I am just so happy with what has been able to be created over the last year. So my channel itself, like if you go to the About tab of my channel, it'll tell you like when the channel was officially created. I don't remember what counts as creating a channel, but it's something like 7, 8, or 9 years. I can't remember. Something like 7, 8, or 9 years. So it took me that many years of randomly posting content very sporadically, sometimes I'd go for months without posting. It took me something like 7 years to gradually build up to 40,000 subscribers. But over the last 12 months, it's gone from 40 to 170,000 subscribers. And I like to say that anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. And let's be honest, guys, YouTube videos earn money. This is not a big dirty secret. YouTube videos earn money. Google puts ads on the videos. Scientology's worst nightmare is for former former staff members, former Sea Org members to understand that with enough time invested into creating content on YouTube, you can almost certainly make more money from the YouTube ads that the Google ads, the AdSense, YouTube and Google are the same thing. From the ads YouTube puts on your videos, than you're probably making at your 9 to 5. And when I hear people criticize YouTubers for earning money, I really scratch my head. I go, what are you talking about? How can you criticize someone for earning money doing something valuable? Scientology's worst nightmare is if 200 former Scientologists realized they could probably make more money on YouTube exposing the abusive policies and practices of Scientology than they're making at their 9-to-5. So, you know, when I'm kind of encouraging people privately to do a channel, the ability to earn revenue from doing videos on this subject is something I don't shy away from promoting. I lean into that very, very heavily. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Here's the amazing thing about former Scientologists doing content about Scientology. They already know everything they need to say. They don't have to go study up on it. It's not a research project. We're all talking about just our own experiences. Like, it's incredible. David Miscavige is hoping to God that more people don't realize they can earn money from doing videos about Scientology. People are fascinated about this subject. For far too long, there have been far too few voices highlighted on this subject. And YouTube just levels the playing field. YouTube is the great equalizer. And one of the ways that I hope to be able to continue to use this platform moving forward to help other former members create their own platforms is to use this platform to promote the other platforms. I mean, when I say Miscavige just has no idea what to do about SPTV, this is what I'm talking about. It's just not possible for them to silence people anymore. It's not possible for gatekeepers to decide which stories are going to get told, which parts of which stories are going to get told. You know, corporate attorneys at Disney and elsewhere deciding what's a little too juicy or salacious to make it on the air. I mean, guys, you see the kind of shit I expose on this channel: Scientology child abusers, identity theft, credit card fraud, like real stuff, like RICO kind of stuff. And what has Scientology been able to do about it? File some stupid privacy complaints and get a couple videos taken down here and there. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, the 1 year anniversary, 1 year of uploading every day. Oh, another thing I want to say about this. I know some people, I'm still sweating my ass off because I just stepped out of a scalding hot shower before I started here. I know some people, if they're thinking about starting a channel on their own, I know some people can get very preoccupied about, but what can I bring to the conversation that's unique? You are what is unique. Your experience is what is unique. Your perspective. Nobody has the exact perspective that you do. Everyone who has a Scientology experience was in a particular place at a particular time with particular people, and no two people had the exact identical experience. And I think one of the things that's very educational or enlightening for people to see is the vast array of experiences, the ways in which each person's experience is unique, and the key, the ways in which everyone's experience, the things that everyone has in common amongst their experiences. The things that the common thread is going to be the most abusive aspects of the Scientology policies and procedures. Anyway, I just cannot overstate how excited I am about what's occurred over the last 12 months and what I think will occur over the next 12 months and beyond. Like, honestly, even one of the reasons I ended up just doing a Q&A this evening is because there are so many bombshell videos that I have on the lineup to do. It is so hard for me to pick which one. Because even though when I say we're us talking about our Scientology experiences, we don't have to do the research. We just have to talk about what we already know. There are topics and subjects that in order for me to do videos on, I do have to do my research. I do have to get the facts correct, especially when I'm talking about people's experiences that belong to other people, not me. I have to make sure that I'm talking about someone else's experience. I need to do the research. I need to get the facts right. And that can be time consuming. And time is something I have not had a ton of lately. But guys, you would think that after posting videos every single day for a year, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, that my list of things to do videos on must be getting shorter. The exact opposite is the case. The list keeps getting longer, and that's great. That's great. That's not a complaint. That is not a complaint. And one of the places I was going with that is that it is not possible to oversaturate this market. It is not possible to have too many voices. This is not a zero-sum game. We are not all competing for the same slice of the pie. The internet is practically limitless. The audience, like even when I produce my videos, in my mind, I'm not doing videos for the people, just for the people who are watching me live. I'm not doing videos even just for the 170,000 subscribers. My audience is the entire internet. That is like, you know, like there is no ceiling. There really is no ceiling. It's not possible to oversaturate the market. Let's say there's 200 people doing videos. Okay, well, no one's going to watch all those channels, but people are going to watch the ones they resonate with the most. Just like, you know, there's a lot of political channels out there. I don't necessarily watch the channels that I think are the most truthful or that tell me what I already want to hear. I watch the creators who I like the most. There's one creator I'm thinking of. I'm not going to mention it because you say anything political and it's like a total shitstorm. There's one creator that I watch. I'm not even politically aligned with this person. I don't even agree with half of what this person says, but I love watching them. I love the sense of humor. I love the timing. I love the production quality. It's fun. It's entertainment. You might call it infotainment, because listening to the content is educational and informative, even if I don't agree with it sometimes or most of the times, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I think that really is the essence. People watch content they enjoy. And whether they enjoy it, it could be 100 different reasons they enjoy it. Maybe there's a content creator who's boring as hell, but they're very informative. And maybe someone just enjoys watching informative content and they don't need the entertainment. They don't need the sense of humor, you know? So I think that's why I say it's not possible to oversaturate the market. It's not possible to have too many voices. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. Did I say it's not possible? Okay, let's see. When I said my chat was screwed up, it's because I think StreamYard is failing to highlight all of the chats that it should be highlighting, but that's okay. We can figure this out. By the way, again, I'm not in a rush, so I'm going to tackle as many questions as possible. For those of you who are doing questions that are not super chats, please do me a favor. Begin your question with the word question in all caps. Look at me. I'm still sweating my ass off here. Jesus Louise. Yeah, begin your question by just typing question in all caps. And then as I'm scrolling through, it will be easy for me to spot it. So yeah, let's start tackling some stuff here, okay? Daily Owl. Congrats, AA Ron. If Tom Cruise leaves but refuses to talk about Scientology, doesn't contact Surrey, etc., would his exit still have any impact on the future of Scientology? That is an interesting question. My gut reaction here is that if Tom were to leave Scientology but refuse to talk about it, I guess it depends on what you mean by that specifically. If he refuses to even comment on having left Scientology, then of course it would have no impact. It would be one of those things of, if a tree falls in the woods, but no one hears it, did it make a sound? If Tom Cruise leaves Scientology, acknowledges that he left Scientology, but doesn't say anything else about it, I do believe that would still have a big impact. Because I can give you a bunch of different reasons why it would, but yeah, that's my answer. It would absolutely have an impact. Tom Cruise and Shelley Miscavige are two people, maybe the only two people, who single-handedly could probably bring down Scientology with their words, depending on exactly what we mean by bring down Scientology. But thank you, Daily Owl. Much appreciated. Sid Whittle wants to know, how do Scientology members feel about Big Pharma Eli Lilly involved in Mike's treatment? I love this question. It is my guess, I would put money on the fact that most Scientologists would respond by going, of course. Of course. Of course, Big Pharma is helping Mike Rinder. Big Pharma has been funding Mike Rinder and his cronies from day one. Do you guys know that is what they say about us? They literally do say that we're funded by Big Pharma, which is why one of the, my family and the Rinder family and the Headley family for a bunch of years now, we've been going on one for many years now, at least once a year, we all go on a big multifamily excursion to a cruise. And on one of the cruises, we had printed up for us to wear on the cruise these really funny t-shirts that said in bright gold letters, "Big Pharma Whore." And it was just a troll. It was just to troll Scientology. And from time to time, I'll make jokes about, the checks I get from Big Pharma have so many zeros on them. My bank refuses to deposit them. So yeah, I'm sure Scientologists are like, of course, Big Pharma. All right, Free Xenu Project. Congratulations, AA Run, 1 year exposing the cult of Scientology and their crimes. Thank you so much, Free Xenu Project. Thank you. Getting a little spicy here. Elizabeth Marino, you asked about the Satanic Temple. Elizabeth, when in God's name did I ask about the Satanic Temple? Okay, but that is the premise of your statement here. So let's keep going. You asked about the Satanic Temple. We're just liberals trolling Christians with the name. We do not believe in worship Satan. We want equality for all and separation of church and state. Yeah, it's dangerous territory for me to be talking about something like this on my channel. I think what you mean is that a few weeks ago when I did an interview with the copyright lawyer, he mentioned that he was a card-carrying member of, I think he said, the Church of Satan. And boy, oh boy, did that not go over well with the chat. And here's why I say it's dangerous for me to talk about this. This shit is above my pay grade. No matter what I say on this subject right now, I am going to get a dozen emails, all saying something completely contradictory, correcting me about what I should have said. And that's why I don't talk about shit I don't know about, or at least I try not to. So, but thank you for the clarification, Elizabeth. People will now be very angry that I called this a clarification instead of calling you out for your vicious lies. You know what I'm saying? All right. I see another one from Elizabeth Marino. Oh, the Satanic Temple is not the same as the Church of Satan. Anton Levy, Black Magic. Hail Satan is a joke like praise Xenu. Elizabeth, I just have to take your word for it. If I even thank you for having said something that educated me, I will get angry emails telling me how your statement is a vicious lie and is exactly what Satan would say. But anyway, I'm sort of joking. I don't worry too much about pissing people off on the internet, but I have tried to polish up my material a little bit to not be as unnecessarily offensive. You'll notice I don't swear hardly anymore in my videos, and I don't say the F word hardly at all. Whereas before, that's pretty much all you heard, because that's how I grew up talking in Scientology. I mean, Scientologists swear a lot. It's something that confuses a lot of people about Scientology. If you go anywhere near a Scientology organization, everybody, including the children, are just dropping F-bombs like it's a preposition. But anyway, thank you, Elizabeth, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Fish Mom 2011 question: happy anniversary. Do you think Mitch would team up with Laura and other second gens to do the documentary they deserved? Holy shit. That is one of the best ideas I have heard in a while. Wow. If I had to bet, if I were a betting man, and I'm not, I would bet that's something that could very much happen. That is a brilliant idea. Thank you for mentioning that, Fishmom 2011. Dave Bowen. Hey, Aaron, will you please do an update on current court cases versus the Church of Scientology? I get you may be limited in what you can divulge, but whatever you can. Absolutely, Dave. In fact, it's one of the things I've been trying to do for the last few days, but I either sleep too late, I don't allow myself enough time, I haven't been able to get to it. The only update that I'm aware of that I have not yet reported is in the trafficking case against David Miscavige by the former Sea Org members out of Australia. And I won't be too long-winded about this, but their trafficking complaint was ruled by Judge Thomas Barber, federal district judge out of Tampa, that it had to go to Scientology's internal arbitration. The team asked Judge Barber for permission to file an interlocutory appeal. Normally, you cannot appeal a ruling until there's a final ruling. And the ruling that case had to go to arbitration wasn't a final ruling in the case. It was just a ruling. The case itself has been put on hold, has been stayed until the arbitration occurs. So technically speaking, you can't file an appeal yet. But an interlocutory appeal is when you go to the judge and you go, actually, judge, if you would please let us file an appeal about this decision, even though the case isn't officially settled yet, it might save us a lot of time. And the judge said, yes, you may file an appeal about this decision because reasonable people could disagree with my decision. And he said, yes. The legal team filed the appeal to the appeals court. And Scientology just a few days ago filed their response to the formal request for an appeal. And I have not reported on the response yet, and I will. But that's the only update. Nothing terribly, terribly exciting. Practically just procedural. Well, it is just procedural at this point. Thank you for the question in the super chat, Dave Bowen. Okay, I'm scrolling down. By the way, I'm scrolling because I'm looking for all the non-super chat questions, just so you guys know. If I was just doing super chats, I wouldn't be scrolling. And you guys know how much I hate dead air. It's one of the reasons I don't do this. I don't like dead air. Oh my God, I'm a scrolling fool. Okay, here we go. O.B.G. Foster, question. Will you be asking your attorney friend Zach about the Tom Cruise recording against his will? California is a two-party consent state, so that recording was illegal. You know, I'll tell you what, it did not occur to me to have that conversation with my lawyer friend Zach, but I will. In fact, Zach and I have been trying to connect for 2 or 3 weeks now to do a follow-up on a whole bunch of stuff. And this is interesting because what I would be fascinated to know, and I wonder if Zach knows, but that's why he's there, right? He's my lawyer friend, Zach. Does the religion angle exempt Scientology from the two-party consent rules in California, particularly since it's occurring on private property? Like, those are the questions that just come up in my mind. That would be really interesting to know. Now, realize, and also, who is it that would have standing to file the complaint? Like if Claire Headley's the one who has personal knowledge of what occurred. My guess would be Claire would not have standing to file the complaint, that it would have to be Tom. But what do I know, guys? I grew up in a cult. Like, that's just my guess. That's why my lawyer friend Zach is there. So yeah, that's an excellent idea, and we will have that conversation. Thank you so much. Let's see, guys. Scrolling. You guys have no idea how much this is messing with my mind to have this much dead air. All right. The Fat Hipster, one of my favorite handles. I have a food YouTube channel. Are there any food recipes that are Scientology specific? I know beans and rice. I remember something in BFG about a snack always at Int. Want to do SP food review of Scientology related foods. Oh my God, that is such a good idea. Okay, here's just some things that come to mind, but it would be amazing to have other people's feedback on this. So dessert night is a major event in the Sea Org. Grown men will fight over blueberry cobbler. So one of my first answers here is blueberry cobbler. For me, is a big Scientology food item. Nowhere on earth is more chicken or eggs eaten than in a Sea Org cafeteria. So different chicken recipes, and you could give it funny little Scientology names, like I don't even know. Different chicken recipes, different egg recipes. Except the thing is, in Scientology world, in Sea Org world, they don't really experiment with different recipes. I mean, it's just chicken breast and it's just scrambled eggs. They're not getting fancy with it. If you want to put anything on it, you gotta, I don't even remember. I guess people, people would put a lot of ketchup on their eggs. There's a lot of Mexican Sea Org members, and the Mexicans love ketchup in their eggs. And I got addicted to that too. I don't do that anymore, but I used to just love it. I don't eat a lot of eggs anymore. What's another food item? Well, of course, beans and rice. I mean, you nailed it with the beans and rice. In fact, you could probably do 30 different beans and rice variations, and you could never go wrong with just another beans and rice recipe. Have some funny Scientology or Sea Org name for it. So, and also, you know, another big deal in a Sea Org cafeteria is hamburger night. And if I recall correctly, hamburger night tended to coincide with dessert night. I don't know if I'm misremembering that or not. It might be hamburger night was special and then dessert night was special, but it was a scheduled thing. It was like once a week. One of the days of the week, knew you were going to get hamburgers and you knew you were going to get dessert. So between various hamburger recipes, beans and rice recipes, blueberry cobbler. I think sometimes it was a peach cobbler and an apple cobbler, but I just love blueberry cobbler. So maybe that's just what sticks out in my mind. Yeah, there you go. Hamburgers, beans and rice, chicken, eggs, and blueberry cobbler. That's my answer. But for you other former Sea Org members in the chat, please jump in with some ideas for food recipes that are sort of Sea Org specific, because that's just, that's an amazing idea. I would watch that. In fact, I keep hearing about some SPTV food channel that's popping up. I don't know if that's something that's already around or if it's soon, you know, coming soon. But yeah, either way, hey, we could have multiple Scientology cooking channels. You know what I mean? All right, SPT Scott, congrats. Some days I can't upload myself out of bed. Please keep it going. Well, yeah, today was one of those days for me. It's one of the reasons I was like, you know, I slept in really late today. And then I'm like, man, there's 3 or 4 videos that I really want to do, but each one of them was going to require more time than I thought I had. And I was like, you know what? It is the 1-year anniversary. Let's just do a Q&A. Thank you for the super chat, SPT Scott. Joni Cummings. Aaron just got Mike Rinder's book. My next book will be Amy Scobie. After that, who do you suggest reading? And FYI, I emailed the Aftermath Foundation offering help using another email. Sorry if there was any misspelling. Oh, no problem at all, Joni. Let's see, you know, somewhere there is actually a very comprehensive list of all of the books that have been written. I'm a little afraid to mention any books at all for fear of leaving any off of the list, but just some that come to the top of my head. Is obviously Catherine Spallino has just written a book called The Bad Cadet about her experience growing up in Scientology and in the cadet org. Okay, you just mentioned Mike Rinder's book. You know, and let's see. I have to mention Barefaced Messiah by Russell Miller, because that was a real eye-opener for me. God, there's just so many books. It's honestly, so you just mentioned Mike's and you just mentioned Amy's. You know, honestly, I'm just going to kick myself afterwards. Any books that I mentioned. Here's what I will do. I will actually try to find that list, a comprehensive list of books, and I will put it in the description down below after this video is over, so that you get a good answer to your question and I don't make the mistake of, forgetting some really, really good books. So thank you, Joni. I appreciate it. All right, scrolling down. Oh, this is funny. Nada, Sparrows and Stones. Question: are you aware there is a hate book on you? I just discovered about Ryan Prescott and high love a video about Ryan Prescott's books. I just saw them on Amazon. What a load of garbage. It's not a real book. Ryan Prescott puts up fake books on Amazon. Ryan Prescott is someone that I'm sure even Scientology wishes would just disappear. He's like a Scientologist, but he's sort of kind of a fringe Scientologist. I'm not kidding when I say his books aren't real. Like I promise you, and you might even do an experiment and order one of them. Like it's probably a book with a title and a cover and nothing on the inside, except maybe print offs of some of the pages on the hate website Scientology created about me. Do you know what I mean? Ryan Prescott, I tell you what, Scientology sure as hell doesn't need Ryan Prescott doing its dirty business for it. I'm sure they would just wish that guy would disappear. So thank you for that. From a poet, Brian Lucas says a StreamYard tutorial would be cool. Yeah, absolutely. Totally down for it. Not only down for it, I'm definitely going to do it, because I've received a request to do something like that. And I'm gonna. So thank you, Brian Lucas. SPTV Tattoo Warrior, it is always so good to see you in the chat, SPTV Tattoo Warrior. I am watching your channel from the beginning, and it's very cool seeing the quality of your broadcasts, the little light bulb going on in your head to begin the Aftermath Foundation. You are the leader we needed. Thanks. Well, thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you. And it's a good opportunity for me to mention, in the next few weeks, you guys are going to see some of the most incredible content and material coming out about some of the stuff the Aftermath Foundation has been able to achieve. It's going to be mind-blowing. And I think, some of you guys know that a few weeks ago, Mark Headley and I did a live stream as a fundraiser for the Aftermath Foundation. And that was really just for us to figure out how that worked, to prepare for the big reveal. Because I think what's going to happen is that, I'm going to bite my tongue on that. Sorry. I'll bite my tongue on that. But let me at least mention that I have also a slight diversion here. I was playing this game. I am playing this game to encourage people to subscribe and help the Aftermath Foundation at the same time. I've pledged to make a $500 personal donation to the Aftermath Foundation once I hit 170,000 subs. A lot of you might think you're subscribed, but you're not really. YouTube keeps showing you all my videos, so you think you're subscribed. You actually might not be. So check that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. When I hit 170, whether it's today, next week, or next month, or next year, I'm going to make that donation. And a whole bunch of people have pledged to either match or partially match that donation. So once I hit 170, it's going to result in, I think, probably 10K of donations to the Aftermath Foundation. But so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for the kind comment, SPTV Tattoo Warrior. I very, very much appreciate it. Okay, scrolling down. I'm seeing some repeat comments here. Russ Hampton, you have done an excellent job and gained the support of thousands of people for you and others. Remember, for every one video that falls, two shall take its place, brick by brick. Awesome job. God, I love that saying. I absolutely love that saying. For every one video that falls, two shall take its place. Indeed. Thank you so much, Russ. I really do appreciate all of your support, and love seeing you in the chat. All right. Next one. Kenny the editor. Hey, Aaron, you should have Mark interview you about your channel and have little videos to help explain what you guys are talking about. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Mark is absolutely slammed right now in his real world work. And so that's why you might not be seeing him as much over the next, however, many weeks. But, this is a great idea, and I'm sure we'll do something like that, because really, SPTV is not my channel. It's not my and Mark and Claire's and Mike's channel. SPTV is absolutely anyone who wants to put up content about Scientology and wants to call themselves SPTV. We don't approve who uses the name. We don't approve who uses the graphics. We don't own anything in relation to it. It's something we want anyone and everyone to be able to use. So it's in all of our best interests to help explain to as many people as possible how easy it really is, and to give other channels as much support as possible, and to highlight other channels as much as possible. By the way, that is also why you're going to see me probably even much more often moving forward, using small clips from interviews of other channels to highlight those channels on my channel. It's one of the really ways that I can use my platform that I think will help other SPTV channels continue to keep growing. So thank you, Kenny the editor. Much appreciated. Melissa Garcia with a super sticker. Thank you so much. Angela Bernhardt, happy 1-year anniversary, AA run. What a difference a year can make. Here's to the next year and beyond. Indeed. Thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate it. Scrolling down. Restack. #1 tip for somebody to get into this with no money. Okay, let me think about this. The one thing that I think you need. Okay, I'll just start. Okay, I'll keep this as short as possible, but as helpful as I can make it at being as short as possible. When I started, I had about a 10-year-old PC, a Dell computer, a Dell desktop computer that was about 10 years old. And I mean, I didn't do any live streams for quite a long time. Actually, no. When I go back to some of the earliest videos on my channel, I was actually surprised to see that I did do some live streams. But even when I did, it was just from my phone. So the reason I started that anecdote by talking about my 10-year-old Dell computer is that 10-year-old desktop is what I was using to edit. And I was doing a lot of editing because I hadn't yet really embraced live streams. And even if I did do live streams, it wasn't even like right now, if I do a live stream, I, fire up my laptop, I open up StreamYard. My StreamYard is connected to my YouTube channel. My phone is, Bluetooth to my computer. My computer is the hub of everything I do right now, even if I'm doing a live stream or even if I'm doing a recorded and edited video. But when I began, the computer wasn't the hub. I literally did everything from my phone. I even bought a little lavalier mic, a little lava mic that plugged into my phone. So like most of the videos that you'll see from, let's say 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months ago, you'll see I'm sitting in front of my pallet wall. It was a different wall then, different shooting location. And I had the couch behind me. When I was recording those videos, nothing was plugged into my computer whatsoever. It was 100% recorded straight to my phone with a microphone plugged into my phone and clipped to my shirt. That microphone cost about $20, and everybody already has a smartphone. So literally, I mean, I think this is the best answer to your question. I did not have to spend any additional money other than the $20 to buy that lava mic that plugged into my phone, because I was just recording from my phone. And then I would get the videos from my phone, I would put them onto my computer, and then I would edit it. Now, back in the day, I was using a pirated version of Adobe Premiere Pro. So I guess I was using pro editing software at some point without paying for it. But actually, even before that, I was using the free editing software that came with the computer, like Microsoft Movie Maker. I mean, it was the worst thing ever. I couldn't even... that software, I didn't even know how to like use graphics. I couldn't even like take a picture and stick it up in the corner. All I did was cut stuff out and paste things and move clips together. Then I graduated from using Microsoft Movie Maker to using a free pirated version of Adobe Premiere Pro. Then I graduated into using an actual, Adobe Premiere Pro cloud suite product that I paid like, $20 a month for. Then I threw caution to the wind and I stopped using my 10-year-old Dell desktop and I got a MacBook Pro, much more expensive computer than was needed for to do this. But I figured, what, I might as well get the top of the line. I got the 16-inch MacBook Pro with whatever processors and whatever. It's more computer than I need to do this. Really, you could do this with literally these days any Windows laptop or MacBook would be good enough. So I hope that's a good enough answer for you there, Restack. Thank you so much. Amber Glass. I have so many questions and comments. Been here every day and notice if you aren't. Well, Ambers, I think there have been like 1, 2, or 3 days that I might have missed over the last year. And even one of those days that I'm thinking of, I cheated and I just uploaded like a little tiny YouTube short. Cause I was like, guys, I gotta make my goal of uploading something every day. I can't miss a day, but I do feel like I missed a day sometime in the last couple months. So hopefully I haven't disappointed you too many times, Amber, is I guess what I'm trying to say there. But thank you for the comment. All right, scrolling down, smash that like button. Guys, if you're one of the 1,800 plus people who are watching live right now, do me a favor, hit that like button. It's fast, it's easy, it's free, and it actually does help, believe it or not. Thank you very much. When I talk nonstop like this, I get a little phlegmy. Do you guys notice it at about we're only 45 minutes into this, when you see me trying to swallow all the time? It's weird, and it's got to be gross to watch, but believe me, it's gross on this end too. Miss Malarkey, 1 year of kicking ass, crying, laughing, and making history. You will be remembered for all you have done. Congratulations, AA Run. Thank you so much. Speaking of grown men crying, have you guys seen the American Gladiator documentary on Netflix? That might seem like a weird segue, but holy cow. If you're anywhere near my age, I'm 42, and you grew up with the American Gladiators, and you want to see some grown men crying on camera, Don't just watch my channel. Go watch the American Gladiator documentary. It's kick ass. All right. Franny Galanders. Are Scientologists supposed to give charitable donations to the church on top of paying for classes and auditing? Oh, yes. Oh, very much yes. You are supposed to. I know some Scientologists would disagree with this statement, but that's because they're in a cult. It is, in fact, mandatory. It has, in fact, become mandatory to give additional charitable donations in the form of straight money donations to the IAS, the International Association of Scientologists, and straight money donations to David Miscavige's ideal org strategy, his ideal org program. When you see any press releases these days of Scientology opening a quote unquote new organization, you should know it's not a new organization. It's a new building for an existing small organization. In fact, Miscavige said in the New Year's event that there was going to be 3 or 4 new buildings opened in just the first quarter of this year. It is now July, and not a single one of those buildings has been opened. It's not because they don't have enough money. It's not because the renovations aren't done. It's because there aren't enough Scientologists in the world, and therefore in each one of the cities where there's a Scientology organization, to staff these 50,000 square foot behemoth buildings when there's probably 12 staff members. Like it's a real estate strategy. It's a fundraising strategy. In some ways, it might even be a money laundering strategy, but I'm not quite sure about that. But yeah, but because this is Miscavige's priority program he's been pushing since about 2004, these donations have become mandatory. Thank you for the question, Franny. All right, scrolling down. You guys know that every now and then when I'm scrolling through these comments, my fingers will go the wrong direction on this trackpad and I will accidentally kick myself out of my own live stream. That's another reason I don't like scrolling through the comments like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm not in a rush. John Cho. Was Tom Cruise playing little David Miscavige in Tropic Thunder? You know, I saw comments about this recently, and I am endlessly tickled by the idea of that character in Tropic Thunder being a David Miscavige character because it's so perfect. His manic hostility and aggression that I forget the name of the character in Tropic Thunder, but he's like he's a movie producer, right? Or he's a talent agent. Is he a talent? He plays a talent agent. The idea that that character was, in fact, Tom Cruise's best impression of David Miscavige cracks me up. So I choose to believe that that is true, even though it's almost certainly not true. So let's see. Scrolling. Mer P. Is there a name for Aaron's subscribers, like Amy's Scobies? Well, Murphy, as you're probably aware, only the viewers themselves can give themselves a name. But I have seen a bunch of names thrown around, and there is one that is my favorite, and that is the AA team. it's just so perfect. And I did put up some merch in the merch store with the AA team logo. And someone said that it would be better if it said the AA run team, but I felt like it was more of it paid better homage to the original inspiration if it was just the AA team. So there's some mugs and I think there's some mugs and some shirts and some hoodies with the AA team logo on it on the merch store. That's my favorite. So if anyone has another favorite, let me know in the chat. Let me see. SPT Scott, does your family help with the channel? If so, how? You know, great question. I have done everything in my power to get my kids interested in helping me with this channel. I can't get my kids to do anything. I mean, I can't get my kids to do their chores. You know, my 2 oldest girls are in high school, and I thought, and my oldest is old enough now to be driving, and she has a job as well. She works at like a local pizza shop that she loves. And I said, you know, girls, you guys want to learn how to do some video editing? You guys want to learn how to, you know, do, I'd love to, like, you guys, you don't need to go out and get a job. You can just work for me and I'll pay you. They're like, no, thanks. I will say this. They are all immense fans of the channel. They'll come home from school and they'll be like, Dad, all my friends' parents watch your channel. And, or my oldest will come home and be like, we sat around and me and my friends watched a few hours of your videos last night. And I'm like, are they kid appropriate? I think for the most part, they're okay for. I mean, my oldest is 16 now. So they help. They are my biggest cheerleaders. They are my emotional support. They are among my biggest fans, but I haven't been able to get them to do a goddamn thing to actually help me with the channel. And that's fine. I wouldn't want it to become a chore for them. But how cool would it be if I could get my oldest and my second oldest to just learn a few little editing tricks and help me create YouTube shorts out of my videos, and I could pay them. I was like, I could pay them. Not interested, Dad. So there you go. Let me see. Russ Hampton says, once you hit 170,000 subs, I'll toss in $100 also. Well, thank you so much, Russ. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I haven't even been able to keep track of how many people have made a similar commitment to what you just did. And I figured, you know what? Don't bother keeping track. Just wait till we hit that 170 and let's see what happens. So thank you so much, Russ. I really, really appreciate it. Here's a good question. John C. Question, Aaron, fabulous work and enthusiasm. What is your ultimate goal with the channel and SPTV? To dissolve Scientology? To see Scientology lose their tax exemption? Really, really good question. I'm going to start by giving probably one of the lowest in importance answers, and that is to troll David Miscavige. And let me explain what I mean by that. Scientology's entire strategy with critics, and I don't like the word critics, but you guys know what I mean, is to instill enough threat, fear, and intimidation to just make them go away. Scientology just wants critics to stop doing what they're doing and to stop saying what they're saying. So in some respect, the effort to put up something every day in its lowest form, what that is me going, still here. Okay, the next best answer is that every single day that I upload content is just one more excuse to promote and spread the word about the Aftermath Foundation. The fact that there is an entire nonprofit organization run by people who Scientology, I say Scientology has created a Scientology-resistant strain of critic. Again, I hate that word, but I'm just using it because everybody knows what it means. By constantly trying to attack me, Mark and Claire Headley, Mike Rinder, Christy Colbrin, Ray Jeffrey, a lot of other people, but the people that I've just named are the board members of the Aftermath Foundation. By constantly attacking us for the last, 5 to 10 years, they've created a Scientology-resistant strain of critic. There's literally nothing they could do or say that would make us shut up or go away, stop doing what we're doing, and stop saying what we're saying. And the fact that there's an entire nonprofit organization run by that type of Scientology-resistant strain of critic, whose sole purpose is to help people escape from Scientology, help people restart and rebuild their lives, despite the effects of disconnection and fair game. Nothing drives David Miscavige crazier than the SPTV phenomena and the fact that the Aftermath Foundation exists. Not only exists, has been incredibly successful in accomplishing our mission over the last 5 or 6 years. And so all of these things, you stack these things on top of each other. You have the still here combined with promoting the Aftermath Foundation, combined with just creating so much content that a Scientologist who's starting to question their existence in the bubble, and they start to stumble onto the internet, making it so that it would just be impossible for them not to find our content. And that's also why I talk about Scientology in a way that I think will resonate with someone who is still inside the bubble. Yes, I've started to, make fun of things a little bit more as the years goes on. I make fun of David for being small. I make fun of L. Ron Hubbard for being a con man. I call Scientology a cult. I make fun of the Xenu story. I just feel like I eventually have the right to ridicule whatever the hell that I want to ridicule. But I do think that I tend to talk about these things, even when I'm ridiculing things, in a way that would not immediately turn off someone who's still in the Scientology bubble. I want those people to stumble upon my content and generally our content and go, oh boy, that person's a suppressive person I've heard. But it seems like they're pretty fair. It seems like they're being honest. It doesn't seem like they're exaggerating. They're saying stuff that resonates with me. That's true. And what's even better, this is the other reason why it's good to have 100 channels, 200 channels. When these Scientologists stumble upon the internet and they stumble onto YouTube and they start seeing these videos, the best thing is for them to stumble upon someone's videos who they know personally, who they liked, who they shared common experiences with, good and bad. And so, yeah. Okay. I do believe we will succeed in eventually getting Scientology's tax-exempt status removed. I hesitate to say that it's like the purpose of my content, because that's such a star-high goal. And the truth is, it's out of my hands. It's not within my power to bring that about. It's only within my power to contribute to that eventual outcome. It's not like I wake up every morning and go, one day closer to Scientology losing its tax exemption, thank God. That will happen eventually. I can't say if it's going to take 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years. It'll happen whenever the federal government and Congress and the IRS make it happen. So I can't really say that that's my goal, because it's too far out there for me to say that that's my goal. It is something I do believe that I am helping eventually bring about. I will say that. As far as the idea of dissolving Scientology, I don't think such a thing is really even like physically possible, or I don't think such a thing is possible. Scientology, depending on how you want to describe this, at the end of the day, Scientology is words in a book and recorded words in a lecture. You have the Church of Scientology, which to me is Scientology. But even if you got rid of the Church of Scientology, some other variation of it would spring up. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're never going to get the books banned. I'm not in favor of banning books as it is. You know what I mean? So like, you won't catch me using language like dissolving Scientology. Scientology has already been dying a pretty steady death since the late 80s, early 90s. Even without our help, it would probably reach its ultimate, lose its tax exempt status, run out of members, maybe eventually run out of money. But those are long-term things. It's why I really do like being able to kind of sort of consolidate the reason for my existence down to, hey, Dave, still here. And promoting the Aftermath Foundation. Whether we dissolve Scientology, get rid of Scientology, take away their tax exempt status, what we can do right now every single day is help people escape, help people leave, help reunite families. That's what we can do. And that's more of a humanitarian goal, as opposed to just setting our sights on the organization itself. Let's help the people. Let's help the people who are stuck in that organization and think that they can't leave. And when they're ready to leave, let's make sure that when everyone in that organization is ready to leave, they know that there's an organization that will help them. Excellent question. I really appreciate that. Oh, let's see. SPTV Tattoo Warrior. The common thread seems to be 170,000 followers equals $100 donation. I'm not sure I totally understand that. I'm going to make a $500 donation. But if 100 other people wanted to make a $100 donation, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Joni Cummings. Aaron, I am leaving a cult. Your videos and the rest of SPTV has been helping. And it does all of SPTV. Have been keeping me away from another cult. So thank you. Goldie is amazing at her job. Goldie is the best moderator in the business. I don't know how she does it. I quite literally don't know how she does it. I have no idea how she is actually able to do all this, but she does. She's incredible. She's fantastic. And we love her for it. So Thank you very much, Goldie. And I'm so happy to hear, Joni, that the channels have been helping you in those ways. That's fantastic. It really is amazing. Thank you for that. Let's see. Dave Owens. The downside is that you want to work yourself out of a job as an anti-Scientology vlogger. That's actually also a very, very good point. Because if somebody wanted to be really cynical, and some people do, they could say, the worst thing that could ever happen for you is that Scientology would go away, because then you'd have nothing to do videos about. It's an argument. It's an argument. Anyone who says that about me specifically clearly has no idea about my past. If I wasn't doing videos about this, I'd be doing something else, videos or not. Believe me, I've done very well for myself since leaving Scientology. It wasn't even until the last literally 12 months that my videos generated any revenue of any kind whatsoever. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing 12 other different things. And it's okay. It's okay for us to be working ourselves out of a job. Do you know what I mean? It'd be totally okay. If I had to choose between the Church of Scientology ending tomorrow or being able to continue doing videos about them, I would choose Scientology ending tomorrow. 7 out of 7 days. Now, of course, somebody could say, yeah, of course, that's what you're saying now, because you know that's not going to happen. Cynics will be cynical, and I can't fix that. So, but you make a good point. And yeah, you know what? I'd rather have a whole lot of channels burning very, very brightly and bringing about the end of Scientology quickly than worrying about, oh no, what's going to happen if I can't do videos in 5 years? Who gives a shit? Everybody will figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. How about that? Oh my God, this one's cracking me up. Archipelago. Question: what is your beard regimen? I wish I had a good answer to this question. I don't have much of a beard regimen. I stopped going to a barber a long time ago. I used to not know how to trim my beard. Actually, if you look at some of my earlier videos from a few years ago, I didn't even realize I was supposed to trim my beard. Guys, I grew up in a cult. I figured it's going to grow how it's going to grow. It's good. Don't interfere with nature. And then I started going to a barber who was trimming the beard. And then I was like, this seems a little unnecessary. So I got some beard balm. I don't even know how to answer this question. I have a little beard trimmer. I use it every few days. I have some beard balm, some beard butter that I throw in there after a shower sometimes. I do it all myself. I don't know how else to answer this question, Archipelago. But thank you for the question. There are no bad questions, guys. Colleen Erb, are you going to be in California for the Danny Masterson sentencing on August 4th? Colleen, you better believe I'm going to be there for the sentencing. 100%. I would not miss an opportunity to see Danny Masterson trotted into the courtroom in handcuffs and shackles and his blue sex offender outfit. And it might be people are gonna have to get there really early. I am going to apply for the press pass again so that I don't have to fight for a seat. But it would be amazing to have the place packed with former Scientologists. To the extent that we can. I think Danny Masterson's crew is going to be there in full force, but it would be really cool to have the rest of the place packed with former Scientologists. So I will see you. Anyone who comes, I will see you there. Lethanda Grauklinger. Lethanda, always good to see you in the chat. Congratulations on 1 year of daily content. I totally agree with your thoughts on channels. I binge watch a person who sews historical garments. I don't even sew. I just love to watch and listen to her. Absolutely. Oh my God, I started watching this one channel and it's so addicting. It's this guy, this Japanese guy who makes handmade boots and shoes. And I mean, freaking the highest end custom handmade leather boots and shoes. It doesn't get higher end than what this guy does. And it's all by hand. It is incredible. It's one of those things that if you start going down that hole late at night, you're going to stay up all night because you just can't stop watching it. Even if you watch it on 2x speed, you're like, oh, he finished this pair of boots. Let's see what he does to the next pair of boots. It's incredible. Yeah, it's got to be entertaining. And if what we're doing here, this is my personal thoughts on the subject. Like, if what we're doing here is important, then it follows that it is also important to reach as many people as possible. And I think in order to reach as many people as possible, your content has to be enjoyable to watch. But the thing is, enjoyable means different things to different people. I do my content in a way that I think would be enjoyable to me. And therefore, my bias is if it's entertaining to me, it must be entertaining to others. I guess we're all doing it based on our own personal bias of what we think is a good way to do it, right? And our own personal bias is going to resonate with others or it's not. And yeah, that's why there's not just one way to do this. It's just, and first of all, it's you got to do it in a way that you feel is true to you. Otherwise, you're going to burn out, right? Like if I was just coming on here putting on an act every time I fired up my camera, I'd probably burn out very quickly. But luckily, I can just be kind of genuine and speak from my personal experience and my own knowledge base, and try to be funny and interesting at the same time and engaging. And it's worked out. It's just worked out. Thank you, Lethanda Grautlinger. Let's see. Free Xenu Project. Question, I was curious. I know you caught that one private investigator on camera, but have you seen more PIs and didn't get them recorded? If so, how many can you remember? Excellent question. I personally am not good at spotting PIs. I'm also very overly trusting of people. I'm sort of like the last person who's ever going to suspect someone of being a spy. Other people are much, much better at that. Mark Headley in particular is like the world's #1 expert at spotting Scientology PIs, and Amy Scobie, and I guess Mike Rinder too. By the time my neighbors informed me that they had been having PIs sitting outside their houses for months, by the time they informed me, it had been happening for months. And nobody told me because they just assumed I already knew. When they finally told me, I was so annoyed that I hadn't found out earlier, only because I was like, you mean for the last many months, I could have been catching these guys on camera? What a wasted opportunity. That's why I was pissed. I want to be able to pounce on these guys and catch them. So that one particular PI that I caught on camera was the only one I've ever seen and the only opportunity I've ever had to do that. And I did it. To the best of my knowledge, that surveillance has stopped because no one's informed me about it. Now, look, I do live in an area. I have my house where I live. I have this recording space that I use. This recording space is in a location where people can park outside my house and they could be Scientology PIs, and I would never know it because I'm near a park. I'm across the street from a big park, and anybody can park outside the park. And, there's people there all sorts of weird hours of the day and night. But for all I know, like, who knows? Like, it's almost, they could be doing the same shit to me and I wouldn't honestly know it. So, but that's the answer to your question. Believe me, I am so looking forward to the next opportunity that I have to do something like that. Okay. Amber's Glass. Where is your neon sign from? Is it a genuine glass tube neon? Palette walls aren't square by design. Thank you for sharing your emotions too. It matters. Thank you, Amber Glass. Okay, it's not like a glass neon. It's more like plastic LED. Like if you can touch the illuminated part and it's not even hot, and it's not glass, and it wouldn't break like glass. It's actually plastic. You could even like stick a little thumbnail into it and probably make a little indent. I think I got it from a company called Crazy Neon. You guys know Facebook and Instagram are always showing you ads for the shit that you're talking about because they're obviously monitoring you for the CIA. I think it's pretty obvious Facebook can hear what you're saying because no matter what you're talking about, it will show you ads for the shit you were talking about. So it's funny. I sent Mark Headley a picture of this sign, like a screenshot of the mock-up once I had ordered it and the company had sent me a mock-up of what they were going to produce. I was like, dude, check this out. And he goes, oh, Google must be serving us up the exact same ads. Because he goes, let me show you the sign that just got produced and is shipped to me. He has his own sign. He hasn't even debuted it yet. So I'm pretty sure the company is called Crazy Neon, but it's just a company I found on the internet. It's just, I don't even know where they're located. I don't even know. I assume they're in the United States. I really have no idea. My sign, I paid too much for my sign. That was probably $250 after taxes and shipping and everything. Mark got a significantly better deal. Even though, well, once he posts his sign, he'll have to tell us who's got the better sign. I can tell you, I think more work went into creating his sign. I'm a little jealous. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Ambers. Scrolling down. I don't know. James will pay for Danny Mullen transport to flag. I have to be honest with you. I do not know what that means, but thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Jen Min says, question, any idea how Tom DeVocht is doing? We were Facebook friends for a long time and he left social media before the pandemic. I think of him and his daughter often. Is he doing okay? Jen, to the best of my knowledge, Tom is doing great. He is someone I would definitely like to interview on this. He hasn't disappeared. He's just a very private guy. He's raising a little girl, and privacy matters. And yeah, no, he's around. He's around. He's just a private guy. But man, I would love to interview Tom on this channel. The stories Tom DeVocht has, boy, oh boy, that would be awesome. All right, scrolling down. Cecilia P. Nordio Motti. That is a hell of a name, Cecilia. Question, do you believe Tom Cruise or John Travolta will ever open their eyes and leave Scientology? I never thought Mike Rinder would have left Scientology. I never thought Debbie Cook would have left Scientology. I never would have thought Marty Raspin would have left. I never would have thought Marty Raspin would have gone back. So seeing as how I'm probably batting 1,000% for being wrong about who would leave Scientology, I will say I do not think Tom Cruise or John Travolta will ever leave. And I very much look forward to being wrong. How's that? Thank you, Cecilia. Let's see. Miranda Brinker. How did you feel about going to the doctor for the first time and telling the truth? Any medical things that could have been treated earlier? Congratulations on 1 year. Miranda, this subject is a subject about which you will get different feedback from different Scientologists based on their own experience. There is an anti-medicine bias in Scientology, but it is not against the rules to go to a doctor at all. It is not against the rules to take any medication other than psychiatric medication. That being said, with everyone's experience, person to person being different, because there is such a strong anti-medicine bias in Scientology, you will have parents who never let their kids have any medicine, Tylenol, Advil, vaccines, antibiotics, but that is due to their anti-medicine bias. And even if the source of their anti-medicine bias comes from L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology, I repeat, and I will never deviate from this, it is not against the rules of Scientology to go to a doctor. It is not against the rules to take medicine. Now, when you talk about going to the doctor and telling the truth, I think you're talking about stories where someone like Claire Headley has told a story of she actually had a broken bone, a broken clavicle. She fell out of a bed and other injuries that she had due to Scientology. And when she went to the doctor, and when kids go to doctors or SEERG members go to doctors, they have to lie about the circumstances of the injury. They cannot say, like if you worked at Bridge Publications and you cut your finger off in the machine, you cannot tell the doctor that you work at Bridge Publications or you're a Scientologist, or you have to lie about how the injury occurred. Oh my God, I did have that happen to me. I was a 15-year-old Scientology staff member in Philadelphia, and I was knocked unconscious by a public Scientologist in the reception area of the Philadelphia org. And when I went to the doctor, I had to lie about the circumstances of what occurred. That absolutely happened to me. I totally forgot about that. That being said, I'm still a guy who does not go to the doctor. I never go to the doctor unless I absolutely have to. I've never had a physical. I even have health insurance. I've never had, what do they call it? Is it just physical? What do they call when you go in and you just get your annual checkup? I've never had an annual checkup since I was a little kid. Luckily, I'm a pretty healthy guy. Maybe I've got something seriously wrong with me and I don't know it because I haven't gone to the doctor. But I do have insurance. So I mean, I'm getting off. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit off into the weeds on this. Let me see. How did you feel about going to the doctor for the first time? For me, going to the doctor is not really a thing. I don't feel like I don't feel like the reason I don't go to a doctor is because of Scientology. I just feel like I'm cheap. I'm cheap and I'm lazy. So whatever's wrong with me is going to get better. You know, if I'm sick, it's like, okay, what's the doctor going to do? Yeah, you're right. You're sick. You know what I mean? I'm that kind of guy. Is there any medical things that could have been treated earlier? I don't have anything generally wrong with me medically, health-wise that I know of. You'll notice my teeth are unusually clean and white. That's one thing I'm obsessive about is clean teeth. What I'm not obsessive about is, you know what I actually have been wanting to do? In my old age, like I said, I'm 42 now. It is getting really hard for me to keep the weight off. I probably have about 20 pounds to lose right now. And I'm like, maybe I should just get my blood work done, see where things are at. You know, you're not always going to have the metabolism of a 20-year-old. But 3 years ago, I was in the best shape of my life. And right now I might be in the worst shape of my life. And it has made me want to maybe go see a doctor. Or otherwise, maybe I should just stop eating so badly and sleeping so badly. You know, that's the other thing I could do. Anyway, that's a very long answer to a very short question. Thank you for that, Miranda. Let's move on to the next. Mama83, thank you for all you do for our community, Aaron. Since finding your channel, I no longer feel alone in all I've had to work through. Mag is in the mail. Oh, I know who you are. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And thank you for sending me the thing that you're going to send me. All right, let's scroll on down. Tom Jacko, congratulations. It's been great to watch you thrive and grow. Plus, your copyright strike win. Keep calling the Keebler elf out every chance you get. Thank you so much, Tom. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. What does this one mean? Valerie Boljack. Number the projects and get a D&D dice. Roll and do that one. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Number the projects. So you're talking about all the different videos that I have to do or subjects that I have to talk about. Get a Dungeons and Dragons dice, roll and do that one. They have ones up to 100. You know, I've never played that game before. Although, you know, I have to imagine D&D must have had a big resurgence after Stranger Things came out. I've never even seen a D&D die, but yeah, that would be one day to set the daily tasks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm too lazy to even go get a D&D die. How about that? All right, scrolling on down. Buckled Up Buttercup. Another great thing about SPTV is that the content stays, whereas press coverage comes and goes. Yes, I very much like that comment. All right, let me see. I'm going to scroll down on this other tab here. Bear with me. Bear with me, guys. All right. Jem Ronan. My dad built the museum in East Grinstead for L. Ron Hubbard's original car. It was a garage, as he said, and he had a weird thing with them after. Okay, I'm not totally understanding this. My dad built the museum in East Grinstead for LRH's original car. It was a garage, as he said, and he had a weird thing with them after. Wow, that's really interesting, Jem. That's really interesting. Rock Slammer, who do you imagine you're speaking to when you do these solo videos? Yeah, I don't have to do a trick like that of like, and actually it is funny because I'm not even looking at my camera. If I look directly at my camera, it looks a little weird. And my laptop, I have my laptop propped up on a box so that my laptop is as close to my camera as possible so that it's not so ridiculously obvious when I'm looking at my laptop. I know it's obvious. I just want it to be not like stupid obvious. I actually look at the blank space between the bottom of my phone and the top of my laptop screen. So I actually just have had to get used to staring into space and I guess just kind of imagining that I'm talking to a giant room of people. That's kind of what I do. I just imagine that I'm talking to a giant room of people, maybe on a stage where you're talking to people, but you can't actually see them. You sort of have to just pick a spot. Yeah. So I'm essentially just focusing on a spot about 18 inches in front of my face and just acting like I'm talking to a bunch of friends. That's pretty much what I do. Thank you, Rock Slammer. JSS Tiger. Has Galactic Emperor Xenu come after you since he left? He did, but we caught him. We found his ass and we caught him. You didn't see it. I posted it on YouTube a couple weeks ago. Go to my community tab and you're going to see we got him, guys. We got him. Xenu is no longer. He's no longer a threat to the population of Earth. There's no longer a need for Scientology and its bridge to total freedom. Xenu has been taken care of, you guys. Mission accomplished. Thank you for the question. Dan Mosqueda wants to know, how much does your streaming platform cost? So the streaming platform is StreamYard. There's a free account. There's the free account, and then there's 3 tiers. I am currently paying for the $100 per month tier. And the only benefit, there's like 100 a month, 50 a month, 20 a month, and then the free account. I think it's roughly like that. And you guys might notice that, like, when I bring another channel onto my channel and we do, like, anyone can come on my stream as a guest, and that doesn't require really anything special. It does require a little something special as far as getting the extra account level. If you want to simultaneously stream 2 other channels at the same time. And how do I explain this? In order to add someone as a simultaneous streaming destination, you have to invite them to join your StreamYard team. And each account tier on StreamYard has a limit to how many members of your team you can have at any given time. And I got tired of having to delete people from my team and add new people to my team every time I brought on someone new. So I got the $100 a month version just so I could have like 14 team members at the same time. But I've already exceeded that. So now when I add someone new, I have to delete someone old. And then when that person that I've deleted comes back on, I've got to add them again. So even at the $100 a month tier, I've sort of outgrown what they are allowing me to do. But that's the only, I mean, $100 a month sounds like a lot. And it is. But you could do it for $20 a month. The truth is, you could do it for $0 a month. You could do this with a free StreamYard account. I've just chosen to pay for the $100 a month. Thank you, Dan. Okay, Ms. Pillow says, California 632 penal code, using an electronic amplifying a recording device to listen in on another person's confidential communication, either a misdemeanor or felony, max sentence up to 3 years in jail. Both parties must consent. Yeah. Very interesting, Ms. Pillow. Wouldn't it be crazy if that's what ended up getting Scientology prosecuted? Mass violations of this penal code? That would be amazing. Case Ventura. I remember black-eyed peas and rotisserie-style toasted hot dog buns. Yes, that is one thing that the Sea Org cafeteria on L. Ron Hubbard Way has, that I'm just going to guess every Sea Org base has. And that is the commercial industrial style toasting machine. Where you put it in at the top and eventually it falls out the bottom a couple minutes later. And people get extremely creative with their toasted buns and seasoned buns, especially when mixing it with beans and rice. And I remember Sea Org members actually getting in a little bit of trouble for trying to get creative and stylish with their beans and rice, because they had to be reminded, this is supposed to be a penalty. You're not supposed to be enjoying it. And it's like, give me a break. So yeah, see, I was always on somewhat of a health kick. I mean, I guess since I've been 15 years old, I've always sort of been on a bit of a health and fitness kick. And to me, putting me on beans and rice is like the greatest thing ever. Like, it's high protein and, complex carbohydrates and high in protein. Is like, you're not penalizing me if you put me on beans and rice. But if they're like, but you can't spice it, you can't put hot sauce on it, you can't put salt and pepper on it, it's like, you already got me on beans and rice. You can't really tell me what to do with it. You know what I mean? And especially a lot of the guys from the Latin American countries, from South America, and they're like, are you kidding me? You're going to give me some tortillas, beans and rice and hot sauce, and this is a penalty? They loved it. All right. Paula Puffer says, you are so right. Just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to do it no matter what your content is. Yes. And as I've moved forward with my YouTube journey, I feel like one line I've started to draw in the sand is you got to have a good microphone. In the beginning, I couldn't tell the difference between good audio and bad audio. It's not until you start dealing with good audio that you realize how much of a difference it makes. So the one thing I have said to people is, if you have to choose between a good camera and a good mic, get a good mic. It's so much more important that your audio is better than your video is better. But the fact that even the shittiest smartphone out there today still has what is more or less a professional grade camera has just, it's really leveled the playing field. John Sostovsky, have you got a new scooter yet? No, I have not. I have not gotten a new scooter yet because I'm just not sure we actually need one. We sort of got it as a little bit of a it was a splurge item. It wasn't like filling some desperate need. So yeah, short answer, no new scooter yet. Kenny, the editor, you can't forget Blown for Good. I could never forget Blown for Good. Did I leave him off of some list? Definitely haven't forgotten Blown for Good. That's for sure. Cat ACDC fan, absolutely fabulous AA run. I know we look forward to your videos every day. Any info about your family would be great. Info about my family? What you talking about? I don't usually talk about my family online. I mean, I mention my kids a lot, but probably not a good idea to put out a bunch of info about my family, though. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, Cat ACDC fan? David E. Parsons, how is Mike Rinder doing lately? How is his chemo going? Dave, definitely not my place to say anything at all other than what's been made public. But the information I have is smooth sailing. In Mike's last update, he did say that it would be 10 weeks before there would be a follow-up appointment or any way to gauge what sort of measurable, significant advancements have been made other than just anecdotal stuff. I mean, you guys know how it is. I mean, you wake up one day, you feel great. You wake up the next day, you feel like shit. When I say you know how it is, I just mean in any course of illness. I mean, I know whenever I'm getting over the flu or some cold or whatever, you have what I'm going to call a false horizon. You wake up, I don't know, you just hit your stride one day and you're like, shit, I feel great. Everything's behind me. And then you wake up in the middle of the night feeling like the entire world is coming down on you. So I'm just guessing if I were in Mike's shoes, I would avoid giving updates all the time because you could have false improvements, like you don't want to tell everyone you're having a great day. If that's doesn't necessarily mean you're improving, and you don't want to tell everyone you're having a horrible day because that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting worse. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't expect regular updates. And Mike did say, 10 weeks. And I feel like that was a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I'm sure when there's a meaningful update, they will give one. Thank you for the question, David. I appreciate it. Ellie M, do you have any idea why there are so many lawsuits against David Miscavige in recent years, civil and criminal? Ellie, it's because of all the crimes that David Miscavige has committed over the last 30 to 40 years and all of his chickens coming home to roost. That is the answer. If he would just stop committing so many heinous crimes in terms of child abuse and elder abuse and trafficking and identity theft and credit card fraud and all this stuff, destroying families, all this kind of stuff, people wouldn't be filing lawsuits, and there wouldn't be any criminal actions. You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer. Amber's Glass, you are not lazy. Okay. So stop saying it. Well, I do appreciate the kind words. I think you would be surprised to learn just how lazy I can be. And that's okay. I do take your point, and I appreciate the sentiment. The Honey Dude HM, first time commenter. I look forward every day to your channel. I am addicted. Thank you so much. Thank you for commenting for the first time. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm glad to hear that you look forward to it every day. That's why even at the end of a day, even at the end of a Sunday, even if it's a holiday weekend, I just can't bring myself to not post. I'm like, you know what? I promised myself I would put up something every day. So even if it's a 5-minute thing, 7-minute thing, even if it's a Q&A, I guess I do it just as much for me as I do it for all you guys. I'm keeping myself accountable. It's like at the end of the day, even if I didn't get anything done I wanted to get done in my personal and professional life, I was like, you know what? There's one thing that I could do to hold myself accountable to myself, and that's put something up on YouTube. So anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Ms. Pillow is back with more. Said it before, but as a never in, I'm sad to say I have a dear friend still in after spending $250,000 on Scientology. I cheer all of SPTV and hope that someday it will crash Scientology and she will be free. It's so sad. It is so sad to see people continuing to throw away their time, their money, their family, their lives. And it does give us all a reason to keep putting up to keep putting up content where we fairly and evenly and openly discuss the pitfalls of Scientology. Thank you, Ms. Pillow. Rock Slammer, any chance of a Goldie interview? Hi, Goldie. That would actually be a lot of fun. And if Goldie wanted to do that, if Goldie wants to do that, we definitely will. I think it is time. It is high time that Goldie got some FaceTime. But it's her call, really. Let's see. I'm going to skip that one because that's stirring the pot a little bit. Bill Kennedy, I appreciate the comment. Just not going to stir the pot right now, if you know what I'm saying. Case Ventura, the daily content is my jam. Great move, Ron. Thank you so much. As I sit here, I'm wondering if there's any of the channels that I watch that actually do content 7 days a week. Chael Sonnen just might be a guy who does content 7 days a week. Of course, Chael Sonnen's never lost a round. I think when I watch Chael's videos, and most of you guys probably know who Chael Sonnen is, famous, legendary UFC fighter, now commentator, hugely successful YouTuber. I feel there is a lot that Chael and I have a lot in common in how we go about our craft. Like Chael is talking about a subject that he is an expert in, and he is really good at talking, and he is really good at telling stories, and he can very clearly do it off the cuff without referring to notes or anything. And when I watch his videos, I guess I like to think that people enjoy my videos in the way that I enjoy Chael's videos. And I also wish that I had my whole setup here in a way where I was further away from the camera and could just comfortably sit in a chair the way that Chael does. Unfortunately, I'm running a solo operation over here. Chael is most definitely not running a solo operation. I can't quite do my stuff the way that he does. But yeah, he might just be another guy who puts up content every single day. Guys, just check out a few of Chael Sonnen's videos and tell me if you think we have a little bit of some things in common in how we go about doing our content. I'd be curious to get your guys' take on that. Let's see. What is this? Donna Dwyer, I do appreciate your super chat, but I have chosen not to discuss any of the YouTube drama. I think it's best for everyone if I don't. So I'm sorry not to publicly respond to your super chat, but I'm going to stick to my guns on that one. Thank you for your super chat, though. I really appreciate it. Tampa B man, the parties in my business were too big, 1,000 each time. Where in the heck did Scientology get that money? Both Tampa and Clearwater. I don't know what you're talking about here. Let me read this again. Tampa Bay man, the parties in my business were too big, 1,000 each time. Where the heck did Scientology get that money? Both Tampa and Clearwater. Terribly sorry. I do not know what your question refers to, so I do not know how to answer it. If there's any way to get me a clarification what you mean, I would be happy to respond. Sorry, Tampa Bay man. I feel bad, but I just don't really know what you mean. Let's see. Bo Beats. Send Claire an email for you. Please read. It is my birthday. Happy birthday, Bo Beats. Always love celebrating birthdays. And I do think I saw your email, so thank you for that. Julie Foster, do you think Scientologists get married and divorced more than non-Scientologists? Julie, I think Sea Org members get married and divorced exponentially more than non-Scientologists. I don't know that I could say the same for Scientologists in general, only because I don't know the actual statistics. It does not seem to me, anecdotal experience is not the same thing as statistically significant information, but sometimes anecdotal experience is all that we have. And it does not seem to me that public Scientologists get divorced more than non-Scientologists. But again, that's just from my anecdotal experience. So thank you, Julie. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Eva Lynn. I sent you an email of a YouTube of Grant Cardone's donating, quote unquote, $10,000 to stop a man from losing his home. Yeah, I saw that. I chose not to do some reaction video to that because I don't like when I do a Cardone video, I want it to be like meaningful and substantial. And if I'm always picking on Grant, it just seems like I'm going to criticize him for everything he does, no matter what. But that video that you're talking about, 100% a staged bullshit video, but everything Grant Cardone does practically is staged and bullshit. So a lot of people sent that to me. So I probably got your email as well. By the way, I finally gotten to a point where I simply cannot process all the emails that I get. Meaning I see them all. I cannot even remotely respond to them all, even ones that are worthy of a response. So anyway, just wanted to say that. Thank you, Evelyn. Case Ventura. Oh, I think I know who this is. I think I know who this is. Yes, I definitely know who this is. Zurich Org asking for donations. They cannot pay their bills. Tells you all you need to know about the state of Scientology. Tells you all you need to know. Scientology orgs cannot pay their utility bills. And I know people are going to, what do you mean? They have billions of dollars in the bank. Money goes up, it don't come down. And, when money comes in the door, large percentages of that are earmarked to go to different management organizations, Continental, Middle Management, International Management, Scientology Media Productions, Golden Era Productions, all sorts of stuff. The amount of money that is left over at the local org level for the staff members to work with on a weekly basis is quite literally not enough to pay the bills. That's how Scientology works, you guys. Joe Birchfield says, I am getting a retired e-meter for my birthday. Cannot wait to sec check my girlfriend. Oh, that could mean so many things. Thank you for that. That is hilarious. Miss Kim, I love AA Team. That's definitely my favorite. One day, Aaron's Enders popped into my head for those of us who want to watch until the very end. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Thank you, Miss Kim. What is this? Tampa Bay man. Aaron, skip the last super chat. You understand. Tampa Scientology is baths. It's crazy. Tampa Bay man. This is an awful lot of typos for an awful lot of super chats. Oh, batshit crazy. Oh, I get it. Oh, by the way, if you guys curse in the super chats, YouTube doesn't care about that. That's not going to be a problem. You guys can curse in the super chats. Aaron, skip the last super chat. You understand. Tampa Scientology is batshit crazy. Yes. Okay, good. Lethenda Grauklinger, count me in for $100 for the Aftermath Foundation when you hit 170,000 subscribers. Beautiful. Thank you, Lethenda. Guys, if you're just joining us, first of all, if you're one of the 2,000 plus people watching live, hit that like button for me, please. It's free, it's easy, and it actually helps. And yes, when I hit 170,000 subs, I'm donating $500 to the Aftermath Foundation, and a whole ton of people have offered to at least partially match that donation. So once I hit 170, the day, I think we can do it this week. Honestly, I think I'm less than 3,000 subscribers away. Once I hit 170 subs, and I'll let you guys know, I will let you guys know how many donations come in to the Aftermath Foundation as a result of hitting 170K. I truly think we might be able to hit over $10,000 in donations when I hit 170K, because I've been talking about it for a month or so now. So awesome. Thank you, Lethanda. That's really, really cool. Let's see. Tampa Bay man again. Damn. Saw your video from 3 years ago today about Serge. Definitely re-upload. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. That is a good idea. I could either re-upload some of those old videos that could probably, now that the platform is so much bigger, now that the audience is so much bigger, or what I might do is go through that older content and pull out clips. Maybe what I could do is pull out a clip and play the clip and then have me and Serge discuss it, like do an actual new conversation relating to it. That would be a lot of fun. There's endless possibilities for how to use all of these channels, cross-posting information. Like one of the things I've said is I would love, because people go, oh my God, are we all going to talk about the same thing? Are we all going to talk about the same thing? That's terrible. Like how are we all going to have new stuff to talk about? And I'm like, hell, that's not how this works. This is the internet. The analogy that I like to use, cable news or just news channels in general. What are all of the news channels, but everybody talking about the exact same thing every day? I mean, honestly, if you just take the cable news channels, what are the big ones? Fox, MSNBC, CNN. I mean, I guess even network news has sort of transitioned into, they all have YouTube channels. So if you just take all the major networks, so NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and then even other YouTube channels, like on the left, you've got things like the Young Turks. On the right, well, you've got a whole bunch of channels on the right. What are they all doing but talking about the same shit all day on all the channels? And people still watch the news. They just pick the ones that they like the best, that they like to watch the best. The world of SPTV YouTube channels could be exactly the same. It's totally okay if we're all talking about the same stuff, because we're all talking about the same stuff in our own way, from our own perspective, from our own experience. So yeah, anyway, got on a little bit of a rant there. Case Ventura, still here. Tiny tyrant. Good enough reason. Yeah, it is a good enough reason. Still here. Can't make us go away. Can't make us stop talking. I know that you wish that you could, but you can't. All right, large truck here. Large truck says, large truck here. COB, that's David Miscavige, chairman of the board, is a long-term smoker, right? If he ever got sick, would you hear about it? Also, where is Eat More Pizza Now? I miss them. Now that you mentioned it, I have not seen Eat More Pizza Now in the chat for quite a while, so I don't know the answer to that question. But wherever you are, Eat More Pizza, come on back. We miss you. If David Miscavige was actually sick, I believe we would not know about it. We would not hear about it. That would be kept on lockdown. I mean, that would be the biggest news to ever leak. And if it ever did leak, heads would roll. So I don't think we would hear about it. I wonder whether he actually did get sick during the pandemic. You guys know, you guys might be aware, maybe not. There's probably not an organization or a group on earth that took the pandemic more seriously than Scientology's C organization. Even to this day, they walk around with masks. Even to this day, look at any videos of the Scientology Sea Org members standing outside what they call the test center on Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. They wear masks. It's strange. David Miscavige has asthma. He's had asthma attacks even in his adult life. I believe Miscavige was very afraid of dropping dead. All the Sea Org members were vaccinated. They were actually told to lie about it to Scientologists because most Scientologists were against that. The Sea Org members were all mandatory vaccination by order of David Miscavige. And I suspect he was terrified of getting sick. And if he did get sick during the pandemic, we have not heard about it and I think would not hear about it. So that's my long answer to a simple question. Thank you, large truck. Let's see. Karaoke Jen. Long time no chat. Hello, Karaoke Jen. Not a Scientology question, but how do you get your head so smooth? What is your beard face regimen? Asking for my husband. Hi, Osa. Honorary SPs unite. Simple regimen for the head. I just shave it every single day. I do. And actually what I used to do, I used to be afraid to shave my head because I was convinced I would cut myself. And the idea of cutting my head is terrifying to me. So what I used to do is take clippers and just not use any attachment, but just use the clippers and just go over it. And that's why in some of my older videos, you'll notice it's not a smooth, the dome is not smooth. But actually during the lockdown, I guess I was just bored. I was like, let's see what happens if I take a razor to this dome. And I liked it. And yeah, I shave it literally every day. Because if I don't, I think I look silly. You guys probably can't tell the difference, but I definitely can. So thank you for that. Tampa Bay, man. I love you, man. Hey, man, I love you, man. I love you too, man. Are you really in Tampa Bay? I'm guessing that you are. So maybe we can grab a drink and a smoke sometime. Grab a stogie. Know what I'm saying? Lori plays. It's been a rocking year. It's been a rocking year, friend. 100% love. 100%. Oh, guys. There has been a lot said about whether it is a Scientology thing to say 100% all the time. It's not. It is not a thing. I think I realized where I got it from. And it was from watching so many podcasts where Brendan Shaub says 100% in response to almost everything. And I think it slipped into my subconscious because I'm pretty sure I did not say 100% all the time when I was in Scientology. I'm almost positive. It's just not a thing. It's not part of the Sea Org vernacular. You know, it's just not. Not like the word data. You'll notice Scientologists say data a lot. Data is a Scientology thing. It's a word that gets used all the time in Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard used it all the time. It's a Sea Org thing. I'll send you the data. Where's the data? What's the data? 100% is not one of those words. I blame Brendan Shaub for that, as for most other things. But no, it's real. Pull up any podcast with Brendan Shaub and just turn it into a drinking game. Just wait for him to say 100%. 100%, 100%. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Let's take the next one. Lisa Gillespie. Congratulations on the anniversary. Big fan. Love seeing you sock it to little Davey Miniman. Question. Has there been an uptick in AMF since Serge's testimonies? I'm guessing AMF means Aftermath Foundation. When you say an uptick, I guess I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean more people reaching out for help to the Aftermath Foundation, specifically since Serge's testimonies, I'm just gonna say no on that. I don't know that these two things would be correlated. I think that's what you mean. We have a very steady stream of people leaving Scientology, contacting the Aftermath Foundation for help. So it is a steady stream that continues to grow. The only thing I'm declining to do is to draw a correlation between some, hockey stick shaped inflection in the reaches to the Aftermath Foundation in the last, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. So I would say no, but not to negate the very steady stream and increase over time in the reaches to the Aftermath Foundation. Thank you, Lisa. Miss Kim. Because of SPTV, Scientology cannot get away with their fair game tactics they used to secrecy was their cover. Oh, they cannot get away with the fair game tactics they used to. Secrecy was their cover. Now it'll be all over SPTV. Safety in numbers. 100%. Yeah, I mean, they can still do it. They just can't get away with it anymore without being exposed. And that's the more channels, the better. Because also what's cool is that each channel doesn't only have to expose the things that gets done to them. Every channel can expose what gets done to any other person who's part of, the group, the loose affiliation, we should say. So like if, Vanessa is getting harassed by Scientology PIs, every single SPTV channel can help highlight Scientology's despicable behavior in trying to harass Vanessa. I mean, that's why the more the merrier, guys. It's not even possible to have too many voices, too many channels. Not even possible. Okay, Heather says, in January, you said 2023 will be the year Scientology will regret that I have a YouTube channel. And now halfway through, they have many, many channels to regret, thanks to you. You know what? I totally forgot that I said that. Yes, let's make 2023 the year Scientology really regrets that I have a channel. Yes, indeed. And now they're going to regret that there are 20 channels, 30 channels, 40 channels. And realize, guys, it's not just about number of channels. It's about also number of former members who are just willing to lend their voice to the discussion. Like someone might think, hey, look, I don't really have the time and the energy to dedicate into even worrying about uploading, but I would love to come on other people's, do chats with other people who have their channels, chats, interviews, Q&As, topical little conversations. We finally are going to be able to, presently able to completely shatter one of the arguments that Scientology's made over the years, which is that, it's always the same small group of a few disgruntled apostates. And it's like, no, that's just the only people the media ever goes to for their quotes about stuff. It's not the same 5 people. It's not the same 10 people. It's hundreds and hundreds of people. So Scientology isn't able to use that argument anymore. Thank you for the super chat, Heather. Okay, Abigail S. Aaron, I brought up Scientology to my prayer group with everything I've learned, I struggled to describe it. Then I thought your live stream video with Serge Del Mar would be a good intro. Do you agree? Any other recommendations? Interesting. So, first of all, I do agree that there's probably any one of a number of live streams that would be good to serve as an intro. I guess it could be difficult, right? Because none of our live streams that I can think of just off the top of my head were specifically designed to serve as an introduction to Scientology. So, but that doesn't mean it depends on what gets discussed in the live stream. Depends on what's discussed. It could serve as a good intro. I guess in a somewhat self-serving manner, I want to say that some of, like, just from my own experience and perspective, some of the interviews that I've done on other podcasts were probably more specifically designed to describe Scientology to a new audience, because in many cases, the person interviewing me and their audience was the new audience. So many of you guys know I did an interview with Lex Fridman on the Lex Fridman podcast, one of the biggest podcasts in the world. That is a decent introduction to Scientology. I did an even more enjoyable chat with Andy Stumpf on the Cleared Hot podcast. And that, when I say more enjoyable, because that one was unedited. So you get the whole kit and caboodle, no editing done. The Lex Fridman interview was highly edited. It was actually, it's like a 2-hour video, but we had close to a 4-hour chat. So again, I say self-serving only because it's interviews that I did. So the Lex Fridman interview and the Andy Stumpf interview might even be even better than any of the videos on my channel to serve as an introduction to Scientology, because I've never really uploaded anything to my channel that I thought was specifically designed to accomplish that purpose. So anyway, those are just some of my thoughts on it. Thank you, Abigail S. Let's see, Dave Bowen. Dave Bowen is back. You probably want to apply for a press pass early. There will likely be more press at sentencing than at the trial. Yeah, I really honestly should apply today. So it's a really good point. Stacy, I watched actor Jason Beghe video about his years in Scientology on Mark Bunker's channel for the first time. It's an old video. Does he speak out currently anymore? Jason Beghe is a very successful actor right now on a network show. I don't want to speak for him. I don't want to say he doesn't speak out, because I don't know that it's some conscious decision on his part. I don't know that he would say, oh yeah, I've decided not to speak out. Sorry. I think he's just kind of moved on with his life. Like, he's got a very successful career going. There's so many other people doing that right now that I'm not trying to dance around this. Jason Beghe, I think, just objectively, demonstrably has not said anything public about Scientology in a long time. So by that standard, some might say he's not currently speaking out. I just wouldn't want to, I don't know that it's an official thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's like, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. I think he's just moved on with his life. He very well might speak out again. But you know what was so powerful about him speaking out? Again, it goes back to that everyone has their own unique story. Jason Beghe was a much bigger celebrity in the world of Scientology than he was in the real world at the time that he left. So him speaking out was hugely impactful, made huge waves in the world of Scientology, even though Jason wasn't a household name at that time. At least I don't think that he was. And so the damage that there was to be done was done. And of course, it would be great if Jason was still telling stories, because I just think him having a big, he's a big celebrity. He's a big celebrity now. Like, he's really made it. And I think it would be awesome to have him popping up on some SPTV channels. I think Jason's pretty tight with Mark Headley. But I've seen people ask Mark, would you ever ask Jason to come on your channel? And even Mark is like, no, I would never ask him. He said, Jason knows that if he wanted to come on, he would come on. So I wouldn't really, I'll wait for him to ask. I've met Jason a couple times, but I've never hung out with him. We're not friends. I don't know him that way, Anyway, that was a long answer to a simple question. Sorry about that. Xenuked. Do they still publish the celebrity magazine? It would be a shame if Wicked Witch never gets to be on the cover. I don't think they've published that magazine in a while. I could be wrong. You guys in the chat, if you guys are still getting, if anyone's still getting the celebrity magazine, please let me know. Has there been a recent issue? Oh, by the way, if you get the celebrity magazine, please send it to me. If you're getting the celebrity magazine, email me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com. And if you don't mind mailing it to me, I'll give you a mailing address. So I guess I'm talking about something that I don't know about. I feel like if it was being published, we would have been seeing it. And I don't remember seeing it, so I don't think it's being published. But everything I just said could be totally wrong. So thank you, Xenuked. Maddie Hofert, thank you for your super chat. But I am not going to feed any oxygen to any YouTube drama. So I'm not going to respond to that one. Hope you understand. Let's see. Oh yeah, I remember. Farm. No. I remember. Farm. Oh shit. I figured out before what the proper breakdown of this handle was before. PhD, MS, Farm, DM. I'm not going to get it. I think it's MS PhD. I think it's Farm D MS PhD, but shit, I don't know, guys. I grew up in a cult. Is there a place where the general public can see a full list of companies owned by Scientology members? Just curious if my dollars are inadvertently subsidizing the work of Scientology PIs and dirty tricked thugs and goons. This question does come up an awful lot. I do not know of a link that I can send you to get a full list. I myself have declined to create such a list, but I'm not opposed to someone else creating it. And if someone else created some website or some Substack or some blog where they wanted to maintain a list, I'd be happy to add to the list as things come up. But as it stands right now, I just don't know of such a list. So sorry about that. Case Ventura is back. Greatness of your content, in my opinion, is the natural conversation feel, like you're talking directly to the listener. Channels lack that, and there is a disconnect. Yeah, that makes sense. It's one of the big benefits to doing the live streams as well, Thank you, Case Ventura. Fran Lafreniere. When I sign into YouTube, I always look for you first. When I sign off, I check to see if you may have posted while I was on the other sites. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Lauren Taylor. Looks like Lauren's out of Canada. I'm way late. It is 16:43 West Coast time, which is 4:43 p.m., right? You are rocking it these days. Go to the doctor. After 40, you need to have a screening. Yeah, I know. I will go eventually. Thank you, Lauren. Bell Lotta. Concerning the spotting of private investigators, other than the joy of spotting them and finding them, what are they going to inform Tiny Dave about? You're so open and outspoken. Who cares? Bell, Mike Rinder gave one of the best guesses for why they would be bothering to surveil me in Clearwater. And that guess was based on what happened back in the day when the Lisa McPherson Trust was existed and was based out of Clearwater. The Lisa McPherson Trust was, in a way, sort of an entity that exists before the Aftermath Foundation that kind of served a similar purpose. But one of the things the Lisa McPherson Trust did that enabled Scientology to target it very, very heavily was they actually had a brick and mortar location in downtown Clearwater on the next to the Scientology campus, right in the middle of the Scientology campus. And the guy that ran the Lisa McPherson Trust was a guy named Bob Minton. And Mike Rinder said that when David Miscavige was in Clearwater, he would refuse to travel from building to building until he contacted OSA, the Office of Special Affairs, and the Office of Special Affairs confirmed for David Miscavige what the present location was of Bob Minton. And Miscavige was just so preoccupied with not being ambushed by Bob Minton or not running into Bob Minton that, OSA was required to report to David Miscavige the precise location of Bob Minton before Miscavige would travel from building to building. And he said, if the Scientology PIs are surveilling you, it's probably because Miscavige is in town and he just wants to know where you are at all times so that he knows where you are not. And where he wants you to not be is anywhere he's about to go. And that explanation made the most sense to me, because the truth is, yeah, what are they going to find? Nothing. It's a total waste of time and money. But to Miscavige, it's worth knowing where I am so that he knows where I'm not. That makes sense to me. Thank you, Bellata. There comes that phlegm. It's not fun. Doesn't feel good. All right. I guess talking for 2 hours uninterrupted has its downsides. Okay. Carrie says, you are so entertaining and informative. Entertainment value proven by the fact that your daughters, A, watch with their friends, B, admit that they watch with their friends. Exactly. Be proud. And thank you for what all you lovely SPs do. It is funny when my daughters have new friends they're bringing around. They're always kind of like, can we show them the studio? Can we show them the play button? The play button is a big deal for kids these days. Kids these days grew up on YouTube, and all their favorite YouTubers have the play button. And by the way, a lot of people don't even know what that play button is. That YouTube sends you one of these when you break 100,000 subscribers. And most kids have never seen one in person. So my kids will bring people over. Can we go show them? Can we go show them the button? Can we take a picture? It's pretty adorable. I love the fact that my kids get a kick out of it. And then even their friends will come over and be like, hey, Beckett's dad, how's the subscribers going? What are you up to now? It's really hilarious. All right. Denise L. Thank you, Denise. Lathenda Grauklinga. Xenu is caught. So please shout, the war is over. Yeah, we could do a lot with that. We could do so much with that. Denver Stevo. So good to see you in the chat, man. I always love seeing you here. Congratulations, Ron. This is an awesome day, and you've been an awesome cruise director this past year. Oh, I love that. Thank you for all you've done and are doing and will do. Osa smells like poo. Don't they always, Denver Stevo? So much poo. Thank you again. Jeff, happy anniversary, Ron. You are a daily watch here. That's awesome. Thank you, Jeff. And Rusty with a very unusual denomination on a super sticker. Thank you so much, Rusty. James Williams, at what age can Sea Org members retire from working, and where do they go? Wow. James, the answer is there is no age. And they go these days. Scientology has a few houses they ship them off to die. And if you think I'm kidding or exaggerating, I am not. The Aftermath Foundation has helped Sea Org members escape from the houses where the Sea Org members are sent off to die. And I am not exaggerating. And you will be hearing much more about all that. By the way, when they send them off to die, they then, usually these people are at an age where they're getting some sort of social security income of some kind or another. They will steal the identities of these Sea Org members and open up hundreds of thousands of dollars of credit cards in their name, using information being fraudulently provided, of course, because you have to provide fraudulent income information. And they do this because they know, or they believe, that that person is going to die soon. And credit card is unsecured debt. And once that person dies, those debts are erased. And that is how Scientology monetizes its old, elderly, sick, and infirm Sea Org members. If you think I'm exaggerating even one bit, I promise you I am not. This is the exact kind of thing I'm referring to when I say that David Miscavige has a lot to be worried about. And the federal enforcement, the federal law agencies are very interested in financial crimes like this that involve the abuse of the elderly, identity theft, credit card theft, because these are the kind of crimes the feds can really sink their teeth into. These are the kind of crimes with paper trails. These are the kind of crimes, we're talking about RICO shit here. And that is what David Miscavige really has to worry about. And that is something the Aftermath Foundation has been very effective in facilitating. When we help people escape, we introduce people to people. And you guys know what I'm saying. So yeah, there you go. Andy Fabulous. Did Tom Cruise give David Miscavige a cameo appearance in the new Mission Impossible movie? I doubt it. Was there some sighting of a little Keebler elf in the background or something? I don't know. I haven't seen the new Mission Impossible movie. Did it? I thought it hadn't come out yet. Oh, but I guess you're still asking the question. I mean, the question is valid even if the movie hasn't come out yet. I seriously doubt it, Andy. I seriously doubt it. But what if, could you imagine if he buried like Shelley Miscavige in the background in like an extra scene or something like that? Anyway, that would be amazing. Giselle Yanez, thank you for the super sticker. Swash line. I have stage 4 lung cancer. Yikes. I am so sorry to hear that, Swash line. There are good and bad weeks. Yes, indeed. Nothing will happen quickly. Sometimes my CAT scans are good and sometimes bad. Yes, indeed. And that's why, you know, yeah, these things, the course of treatment, the course of the disease itself, like you said, ups and downs, peaks and valleys, not just day to day, but week to week and month to month. And that's just the nature of the beast. And so that's why, even if I were in Mike's shoes, even if I was feeling great, I probably wouldn't tell people. If I was feeling much worse, I definitely wouldn't tell people. You know what I mean? So we'll get the information that we get. We'll get it when we get it. And I wish you all the best, Washline. I wish you a full and speedy recovery. Okay, Ms. Pillow. I have a tough time explaining in a complete and yet, let's see, sorry, I guess I should turn off my notifications. Yeah, let me forgot to put my computer here on Do Not Disturb. I have a tough time explaining in a complete and yet in a nutshell narrative to friends and family why Scientology is horrid. Do you have a single video or series you would recommend for those with a short attention span? Ms. Plo, that's an interesting thing to hone in on. I don't, because I've never tried to do a video with that in mind. The thing is, you know, there are tons of high control groups, abusive cult-like organizations, and in some respects, Scientology, it feels too easy and lazy for me to go, Scientology is the worst of them all. Everyone's experience in each group is their own. And I'm more comfortable saying Scientology there are a lot of groups out there that are just as bad as Scientology. And yet what makes Scientology particularly abusive to me is how it de-emphasizes and destroys the family unit, the idea that a family is even a real thing at all. You know, people might define a cult in different ways. For me, as long as Scientology proactively destroys families, that's why I call them a cult. I know there's academic ways to define what a cult is. And even then, academics may not agree on the precise definition. But for me, the way Scientology uses its belief system to make family relationships illegitimate. You saw that in the recent video of Laura Anderson's father disconnecting with her on the phone. He said, you know, you've lived lifetime after lifetime. You've lived many lifetimes. We happen to be playing this little father-daughter game this lifetime, but you're responsible for your own condition and you've made your own choices. He was essentially saying, we're only pretending to be father and daughter. But I'm a Thetan and I didn't give birth to you as a Thetan. My body simply happened to contribute to giving birth to your body, but we are not our bodies. We are Thetans. We are spiritual beings. So Scientology uses that kind of rhetoric to completely delegitimize the family unit altogether. It also uses its policies to cover up abuse of children and abuse of the elderly. To me, Scientology's abuse of children, abuse of the elderly, and the destruction of the family unit is what makes Scientology so horrid. If there was some way to remove those aspects from Scientology, you probably wouldn't hear me say anything about it, because what adults do to other adults willingly with consent is up to them. If you want to throw away your money after a bunch of bullshit of some guy claiming to save your eternal spiritual freedom, I could not be bothered in the least, you know. But because Scientology is what I grew up in, and because that organization is hurting kids, hurting the elderly, and destroying families, as long as they're around and doing that, I will have something to say about it. That's my answer to that. Thank you, Ms. Polo. Q. Oh, Susie Q. Aaron, when Mike gets better, he will come back to his YouTube channel. Yes. And I know it's always nice to see me in the chat. Yeah, it's always nice to see you in the chat. I fully expect that when Mike feels he is capable of doing content, he will do content. I mean, look, it's almost like YouTube is the new frontier. I mean, this is the new battlefront. It's no longer on the blogs. The battlefront is on YouTube. The battlefront is not even on, the documentary screen or cable television or the news, the news outlets. The battlefront is on YouTube. That's where the war is being waged and won. And so, yeah, as soon as I fully expect that when Mike is up to it, he will come back to his channel without question. Thank you. Oh, Susie Q. And it's always so good to see you in the chat. Let's see. Bread. How do you deal with negative reactions to videos? When you say, how do you deal with it? Well, I'm not someone who thinks that anyone who has any criticism of me must just be a hater. There's a lot of well-meaning and well-intended criticism. And I guess the best answer is I try to have enough self-reflection to take to heart. If there's something I'm doing or saying that's putting people off, I'll try to change that. Well, I mean, that's why I don't swear in my videos anymore. Hardly ever. I'll say damn and shit and whatever, but you rarely hear me use the F word anymore, because I realized it was just honestly getting in the way of delivering my message to people who wanted to hear it. There's a lot of religious people out there who are terribly offended by profanity. Well, okay. There's no reason for me to use profanity. I still do it in my real life, but I've specifically taken it out of my YouTube videos because it's not helping my videos. It's not like, oh, I love that guy, he swears all the time. So anyway, that's just one example. Other than that, guys, people on the internet, I can give you a negative opinion about anything. I mean, even things that I like, I could give you a negative opinion if you ask me about it. The internet loves giving negative opinions. I think it's a delicate balance between not letting unnecessarily critical comments get under your skin, but also being open to receiving criticism. How do you do that balance perfectly? Nobody knows. I guess I tend not to really care about people on the internet saying bad things about me. So Scientology's been doing it for so long. It's not a thing for me. I don't care. Yeah, it's not something I'm going to get upset about. But at the same time, you want to be open to valid criticism. So I just try to deal with it as best as I can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my answer. Hope that's a good answer. Rachel. Nope, not Rachel. Well, how do you say this, guys? Rassaniel 2006 for super chat. Awesome. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary. Great work. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. Case Ventura. No way. I was going to say Chael Sonnen. Never lost a round. The odds. Yeah, I love Chael. Case, you're going to love this. You know how in Chael's videos, he has that sponsor. It's like Mean Street Coffee. Chael never even mentions the fact that this Mean Street Coffee logo has been sitting there right next to him for years. He never even mentions it. And I'm like, what the hell is Mean Street Coffee? So I looked it up. It looks to me like it is in fact Chael Sonnen's own coffee company. And I messaged someone at the coffee company, just through whatever's on the website. And I was like, look, I would be so honored to call Mean Street Coffee a sponsor of my channel, that if you just send me some free coffee, I will be happy to do ads for you guys. And I was going to be so honored to have a sponsor that was associated with Chael, because I love Chael. I just love him. Love what he does. I love how he does it. Anyway, needless to say, I never heard back from those guys. But if anybody wants to, tweet at Chael, hey, Grown Up in Scientology would love to promote your Mean Street Coffee, feel free. I would love to. I just love that guy. Thank you, Case Ventura. Dana Reynolds says, I've been following all you guys since the aftermath. Thank you for enlightening us. I appreciate all you're doing and really enjoy your videos. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. Thank you so much, Dana. I really appreciate it. All the support I get from you guys, gives me a reason to keep on going, other than all the reasons I've already given you. You know what I'm saying? I would keep going no matter what, but it really does help having all you guys joining me on the live streams all the time, Let's see. Amber Vanessy. Okay, you said my name is pronounced Vanessy. Okay, Amber Vanessy or Vanessy. Who knows? Is it Vanessy? Is it Vanessy? I don't know, guys. I grew up in a cult. Has your wife ever been on your channel? My last name is pronounced Vanessy. So she has never been on my channel. We have very sort of separate private lives. And you'll notice my wife did not appear on camera on my episode of Scientology in the Aftermath. And she is just much more of a private person than I am. I mean, even to the extent where some of her, sorry guys, I'm getting all that flumminess. Even some of her friends who she's known for a long time will at some point be like, are you related to Aaron Smith-Levin? She's like, funny you mention it. We're married. No, she's never been on my channel. She's just the best way I can describe it is she's just much more private than I am. And that's just the way it's always been. So I wouldn't really expect that to change either. It's just kind of the way it is. I mean, we've been married for 20 years. You guys know I'm 42 years old. I've been married for 20 years, you guys. It's crazy. All right, Joni Cummings. Been telling a friend about Leah's TV show and about the SPTV network and Scientology. She was amazed and happy 1-year anniversary. Well, awesome, Joni. Awesome. Thank you for helping spread the good word. Pam says, been with you from the start and you only get better. Many thanks. P.S. AA Run, the spider is fine. Oh, I think Pam has a spider that she named Aaron. That's awesome. Parallel Jen, do parishioners know what goes on in the Sea Org? To an extent, they do. A lot of Scientology public are themselves former Sea Org members. So of course those guys do. But this is actually interesting to think about because those former Sea Org members who are now public Scientologists would get into a lot of trouble if they were talking to other public Scientologists about some of the really bad shit that goes on behind the scenes in the Sea organization. So to a large extent, people who are public Scientologists and have never been in the Sea Org, to a large extent, they do not actually know the full extent of what happens behind the scenes. They don't know how nasty it gets. They don't know how everyone's always treated like a bad guy. Everyone's always in ethics trouble. Obviously, I'm speaking in broad generalities that are not always true. Just speaking about them this way for now. The culture of the Sea Org or of always looking for a fall guy, always looking for a head to put on a pike, always looking to blame a specific individual for things that happen, even if it's an act of God. Just constantly, you're told that the Sea Org is the most ethical group on the planet, but you're treated like you're completely untrustworthy. You're not even allowed to go anywhere by yourself, off of the base. So there's the answer to this question is going to differ from public to public. And yeah, that's the best answer I can give, Parallel Jen. Thank you for the question. Oh, Cat ACDC fan. I guess I didn't ask right. I just wanted to know how your family was doing. Oh, okay. You'd already somewhat answered it. Love AA team. Family's doing absolutely great. I feel like I've totally lucked out even with my daughters. My daughters are all 16, 14, and 12. So when I tell people I have 3 daughters, 16, 14, and 12, people are like, oh no, it must be pure hell. I'm like, no, my daughters are kind of angels, I mean, even, the teenage years, it's like, I hear how hard it is to have boys. When I hear how hard it is to have boys, how different the boys are than the girls, I go, thank God I had the girls because they're relatively angels. I mean, other than all the shit they do that they think we don't know about. But that's life. That's growing up, We really have lucked out with our kids. They all, brilliant. They all do great in school, have great with their friends, social lives, all that kind of stuff. Everything going pretty awesome at home. Thank you, Kat. Sarah S says, as I started watching your channel in 2016 or 17. Oh, I started watching your channel in 2016 or 2017 when I still lived in Clearwater. Wish I had met you before I moved away. I've kept watching and even used one of your campaign videos in a lesson with my high school students. Congratulations. That is so cool. That is awesome. Now I'm dying to know which one you used. If you want to tell me, just message me, growingupinscientology@gmail.com. That's great. In fact, did I get an email from you about this previously? Because this does ring a bell. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sarah. Eat More Pizza Now is back, everyone. Put me down for $100 at 170,000 subs, and that's a lot of pizzas. Guys, for anyone newly joining the stream, when I hit 170,000 subs, I'm making a $500 donation to the Aftermath Foundation, and a whole bunch of people have agreed to match or partially match that donation. So if you're not subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And let's see how much we can raise. That's awesome. We were just talking about you. I'm sure you heard us talking about you. Eat More Pizza. People were saying, where you been? We've been missing you. So welcome back. All right, let's see. Matt Elliott, thank you for your super chat. By the way, I'm not bringing it up. I'm not bringing your super chat up on the screen just because I'm not trying to fuel any YouTube drama. What I did with Jeffrey Augustine was not his side of anything. I brought Jeffrey Augustine to talk about the Over the Rainbow documentary. And before I had Jeffrey Augustine on, I had Laura Anderson on, who was one of the stars of the documentary. We were talking about the documentary. We weren't talking about sides of anything. So thank you for that. Maddie Hofert. I absolutely love this channel. I watch every video and look up to you as a person to be like. Wow, that's so nice. Thank you so much. If you address the Stephen Mango situation, I will match your $500 donation. No problem. Oh, you got me there. I'm not going to facilitate any YouTube drama whatsoever. So sorry to disappoint, Maddie, but hopefully you'll still match my donation to the Aftermath Foundation. But either way, I appreciate the super chat. Tampa Bay Man, I'm in for $100 this week to celebrate $170,000. Beautiful. More the merrier, man. Let's get it going. I think it's South Dakota Cat Lover 1. Wow. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Let's see. What is this? Buffy Lynn, please get a full physical as soon as possible in honor of Mike. I definitely will before the end of the year, just for insurance reasons. You know what I'm saying? I think we've probably already maxed out our deductible for this year. So definitely by the end of the year. Thank you, Buffy Lynn. I appreciate it. Dave Bowen, here it is. AA Ron's Army. Hey, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one at all. Guys in the chat, if you prefer AA Ron's Army, put a 1 in the live chat. If you prefer the AA team, put a 2. All right, let's see. Evelyn Lee Barney, start of COVID was terrifying for lung issues. Yeah, I imagine. I'm asthmatic and old. I took out an extra end care costs policy. My son had just bought a house. Yeah, I imagine. I can only imagine if you already have problems in the breathing lung department. I can understand that sort of caution. Thank you for the super chat, Evelyn. Okay, Free Xenu Project. Would love to see a comedy sitcom about Xenu getting freed by a funny woman. Cast would be Leah Remini and Kevin James. If they actually made it, what do you think David Miscavige would do? Do you think Leah would be down for it? I mean, I don't want to speak for Leah on that, but I think if there was some tasteful, well, it doesn't have to be tasteful, right? Because the point of comedy is to, comedy doesn't have to be tasteful. If there was some, man, what would that, if there was some sitcom based on Scientology, would Leah participate? Damn, I guess we just have to ask Leah. I don't even want to guess on that. What do I think Scientology would do? They would threaten to sue the network into oblivion. And the chances are those corporate media attorneys would probably be intimidated into shelving it. These corporate media attorneys really don't seem to understand that Scientology hasn't actually sued anybody for about a generation now, and that Scientology has never in its entire history won a jury trial. These attorneys just don't understand. Their job is to say no. So that's what I think would probably happen for Xenu Project. Thank you so much. Yee-ya says, yee-yaw says, would Scientology say that Mike Rinder got sick because he left Scientology, or that he would not have gotten sick if he stayed in Scientology? What they would probably say is that his general, here's how Scientologists would frame it. Because realize Scientologists think that you as a spiritual being, a thetan, are essentially what they would call you are full cause. You are the prime mover unmoved. You are fully at cause for anything that happens to you. And L. Ron Hubbard basically said that there is a mechanism a Thetan will follow, because Thetans are basically good. No matter what, no matter how evil you are basically good. And all the evil is shit that's been piled on top of you that you're dramatizing. And he says, because you as a Thetan are basically good, when you are doing evil things, you will handicap yourself in order to present, instead of just stopping doing the evil things. That would be too simple. Instead of stopping yourself from doing the evil things, you have a compulsion. You can't really stop yourself from doing those things. So instead, what you will do is you will subconsciously handicap yourself to limit your ability to keep doing these evil things. And this is why Scientologists will say that no matter what you're doing, if something bad happens to you, you have to find out what bad things you've been doing, because you as a being could have prevented those bad things from happening to you. The reason you didn't prevent those bad things from happening to you is that you are subconsciously trying to do yourself in and harm yourself and damage yourself and make yourself sick and kill yourself, or at least kill your body, to prevent yourself from being able to continue to do harmful, destructive things in this lifetime. That is how Scientologists think. I gave that explanation because it's not just as simple as he got sick because he left. He wouldn't have gotten sick if he stayed. Even people who are in Scientology, who get something like cancer, some life-threatening situation, even though they're still in Scientology, they will still go through this sort of victim-blaming self-examination process of, oh no, I must be unknowingly doing bad things to Scientology, and I'm unknowingly causing myself to get this sickness and this illness. If only I could identify what it is I'm doing that's hurting Scientology, I would reverse or cancel this mechanism of trying to hurt myself and limit my reach. It gets a little complicated. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, yes, they would say Mike Rinder has pulled this in because of he's to prevent himself from being able to keep harming Scientology. That's how they would do it. Thank you so much. Case Ventura, are there particular businesses missing in downtown Clearwater? Yeah. A movie theater. A movie theater is a business that is missing in downtown Clearwater. They have tons of restaurants. Don't need more restaurants. Got restaurants, got bars, got coffee shops. Don't need any more of that. We do need a movie theater. And maybe some more like retail shopping, you know, stuff like that. Thank you, Case Ventura. Tampa Bay man, I'm the one with the family entertainment center. You and your family are welcome on me anytime. Super fun, full bar. Huh. I think I know what you're talking about, but what I'm thinking of doesn't include a bar. Tampa Bay man, you gotta email me. I think I know who you are, but your mention of the full bar is what's confusing me. Anyway, email me, growingupinscientology@gmail.com. All right, let's see. Rick, anonymous guy from the Serge stream again, had another question. Why did Scientology never have a presence in Las Vegas? It seems perfect for them. They do have a presence in Las Vegas. They actually had two organizations in Las Vegas, but now they have one. They had the Las Vegas org, and they had the Celebrity Center Las Vegas. And the Celebrity Center Las Vegas, I believe, has been combined with the Las Vegas org, but it's been there forever, and it is still there. And I believe, someone can fact check me on this, I really thought they're one of the orgs that already had their ideal org building, which means they would have a big ideal org building, but I could easily be wrong about that. Just Google Church of Scientology of Las Vegas, and it's there. I promise you, Rick, it's there. Let's see. Denise Locker. Aaron, any updates on the civil trial regarding the Masterson case? The civil trial is still on hold for right now because the district attorney, the deputy district attorney, has not yet announced whether he will retry Danny Masterson on the charges for Jane Doe 3. How about that? It is still possible that Danny Masterson could be retried for the charges for Jane Doe 3. And that announcement has not been made yet. That decision has not been made yet. The announcement has not been made yet. And until that gets settled, finally, the civil case is still on hold. So more to come on that. Absent-minded old Aussie nerd. Oh my God. Hey, it wouldn't be a live stream if my battery didn't die. Give me a sec, guys. Bada bang. Oh, this other battery over here will probably die soon here. Okay, absent-minded old Aussie nerd. As a never in, it was your channel that got me to post some videos. Awesome. You doing a how-to would be great. Good. Well, it's definitely coming. It's not an if, it's a when, and it's going to be really, really soon. Because I think it's really timely and appropriate to do it now. That's so cool. Thank you for your super chat. Lulu92. We could be Aaron's Cruisers. Okay. All right. Well, put a 1 in the chat if you like Aaron's Army or Aaron. I forget what was it, Aaron's Army or Aaron's Army? 1 in the chat for Aaron's Army, 2 in the chat for AA Team, and a 3 in the chat for Aaron's Cruisers. Selena Michelle, congrats, Aaron. Love my SPTV. Hit that like button. Yes, guys, we're still at 2,000 people watching live now. If you're just joining the stream and haven't hit that like button, please do. It's fast, it's free, it's easy, and it actually helps. Marilyn Honig, thank you for the super chat. Marilyn, always love seeing you in the chat. Happy anniversary, Aaron. Thanks for all you do. And hey, Marilyn, I just might drop in on your guys' Monday night after party tomorrow. I think it would be a lot of fun. And also, I have decided I want to do a Scientology Jeopardy thing where I'm going to come up with questions, Jeopardy questions, got the answers. And I want to bring on Marilyn and Juliana Bittencourt and Denver Stevo and Clearwater Chad and test their Scientology knowledge with a game of Scientology Jeopardy. And I told you guys, I keep telling you guys how lazy I am. This is a great idea, right? This is a great idea. You'd think I would just sit down, spend 2 or 3 hours and put together a bunch of Jeopardy questions. I am so lazy, you guys. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to come up with these Jeopardy questions. So if any of you viewers out there want to help me compile the Jeopardy questions, please do. And send them to me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com because we're going to have a lot of fun with Scientology Jeopardy. Thank you, Marilyn. Brett Grace. Always love seeing Brett Grace in here. SPTV is my first time personally witnessing a YouTube phenomenon take off from the start. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished in this first year. Thank you so much, Brett. And we really appreciate the help that you've given us as well. It's been awesome. Let's see. Denise. D-Nice. Is it D-Nice? I hope it's D-Nice. D-Nice out. You may want to protect the SPTV logo to prevent Scientology from trademarking it. Also, buy up the URL to prevent Scientology from cyber squatting. Well, here's the thing. SPTV, technically speaking, is like Sony Pictures Television. If you go to Twitter and you look for @SPTV, it's Sony Pictures. So, look, you make a good point. I just don't know that even if we tried to trademark it at this point, I don't even think the URL is available. All I can tell you is I keep talking about how lazy I am. Do you want to know how lazy I am? I am too lazy to try to do any of the great things you have just suggested. So if anyone else out there wants to go and do it and they just want to tag team, tag me in to provide any input or sign this or sign that, I'm willing to do that. But I'm lazy, guys. Did I mention I'm lazy? I'm lazy. All right. Scarlet Begonias. Congratulations as a never in and a cult content addict. Your videos make me smile every day, no matter the content. Also, have you watched The Vow yet? Scarlett, thank you so much. The Vow is one of the NXIVM documentaries yet, right? And I'm so embarrassed to say that I can't even remember which one of the documentaries I watched. Meaning there's 2 of them. I know they're distinctly different. I know I've watched one of them, but I've talked about both of them so much, I can't remember the name of the one that I watched. What was the name of the other one? So my answer to you is I've watched one of them and I'm not sure which one, but the NXIVM stuff really is incredible. The similarities between the NXIVM stuff and the Scientology stuff is mind blowing. Thank you, Scarlett. Kimber DuSmythe. God, this phlegm thing is kicking my butt. It's gross. It's gross, guys. Watching old videos, anything happening with Whitney Mills situation. I've actually been meaning to do a follow video up on Whitney Mills. I've still been expecting the Tampa Bay Times to do a story on Whitney Mills. I do not have any update on Whitney Mills. Meaning there is the update that I was going to do a video about is still something I still want to do a video about for the last, couple months. And that update was just even more text messages showing the criminal negligence on behalf of Dr. David Minkoff. And more evidence showing that Scientology knew exactly what was wrong with Whitney Mills and did nothing. And it does seem that Scientology absolutely contributed to the death of Whitney Mills. And Dr. David Minkoff absolutely contributed to the death of Whitney Mills. And I do have another video I'm going to do about it. But as far as an actual update in terms of the police doing anything or the media doing any further reporting on it, unfortunately, there is no update on that. Yeah, more to come on that later. Thank you, Kimber. Cindy Huot. I always get it wrong. Hey, Aaron, if Scientology does not believe in God, then why is Grant Cardone always saying God bless and stuff like that? Because Grant Cardone is part of the Scientology initiative to trick people into thinking that you can be a Scientologist and be a Christian. That's why. Grant Cardone doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in Jesus. He doesn't believe in prayer. He doesn't believe in blessings. But he'll say God bless because it plays really well on YouTube. Just like Dr. Eric Berg does the same thing. He'll say prayers, keep you in my prayers and all this stuff. Dr. Eric Berg straight up pretends to be a Christian. It's a scam. And even so many Scientology celebrities pretend to be Christian. Even Juliette Lewis says some shit where you're like, what are you pretending to believe in Jesus for? Like, you're so full of shit. These guys are all full of shit. Okay. Swashline says Mike Rinder needs to keep in mind there are new treatments that are highly effective, like immunotherapy and targeted therapy. Yep. Believe me, Mike Rinder's getting some of the best treatment, some of the best medical care. I mean, guys, we live in Tampa Bay. The Moffitt Cancer Center is here in Tampa Bay. There, some of the industry's top cancer professionals are here in Tampa Bay. So he's definitely getting top of the line medical treatment. I promise you that. Skipper of the Land of Wapets. That is an amazing name. Skipper of the Land of Wapets. Unbelievable. Thank you for the super sticker. Simone Ferran. Hey, Aaron, I hope you had an awesome weekend. Yes, I had a very relaxing weekend, actually. So that makes it awesome in my book. Thank you, Simone. Carrie. Amber Vanasse. Shit, I forget how to say it. I've heard he keeps his poor wife in a bunker in his house. I believe the cops were notified. Yes, indeed. Last month or 6 weeks ago, the Clearwater police did receive an anonymous phone call saying that I do keep my wife locked up in a bunker. I said, a bunker in Florida? Are you kidding me? We don't even have basements. Anyway, good stuff. All right. Another one from Skipper of the Land of Wapets. Please tell us about the boarding school. I live near there, and there are so many rumors. I assume you're talking about the Delphian School in Portland, Oregon, or near Portland, Oregon, wherever the hell it is. Guys, there's nothing particularly interesting about it. It's a very expensive private boarding school run by Scientologists, has a Scientology culture. Its staff members are audited by Scientology field auditors. Children are introduced to Scientology concepts. It's not actually run by Scientology. It's a privately owned school. And there's more than one Delphi school, but the only one that's like a real boarding school is the one that's in Oregon. There's a Delphi school in Los Angeles. There's a Delphi school here in Clearwater. It's the most expensive in the world of Scientology. It's the most expensive Scientology-ish private school you can send your kids to. So it's sort of a status symbol in some ways to send your kid to one of the Delphi schools. And other than that, there's nothing particularly interesting that goes on there, to be perfectly honest, at least not in my view. Thank you, Skipper of the Land of Wapets. Raven Azure, always good to see you, Raven Azure. Happy anniversary, Aaron. Thank you for all you do for the Aftermath Foundation and for sharing all these stories with us. You're awesome. Carry on, sir. Love to Mike. Thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Kathy M, what has been your favorite moment of the last year on YouTube? Congrats, Aaron. Well deserved. I'm going to say going on the Lex Friedman podcast was definitely my favorite moment of the last year. I've always been a huge, gigantic fan of Lex Fridman. When I saw that CoffeeZilla had gone on the Lex Fridman podcast, I was like, oh my God, he's interviewing someone from YouTube. Could I even ever dare dream of such a thing? And then one night at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was, sitting there in bed and I got a little Twitter notification message from Lex. Hey, my name's Lex. I have a podcast. Would you be interested in talking with me sometime? I immediately woke up my wife and I was like, wake up. You're not going to believe it. I just got a message from Lex Fridman. She's like, okay. And I probably didn't sleep for the next 3 days. I was just so unbelievably amazed that I had gotten a message from Lex Fridman. So that was my most, I say that my conversation with Andy Stumpf was a little more fun, a little more entertaining probably for the viewer, but still going on the Lex Fridman podcast was my favorite YouTube moment. No question about it. Russ T, any information about Sarah Seltzer from that video, the video that had almost no information in it about her or anyone? It's really interesting that you asked. By the way, I was in the Sea Org with Sarah Seltzer. I know her personally. She is also really good friends with Laura FM. And I would not be surprised if you saw Sarah do a video with Laura sometime in the very near future. And then you guys will get all the information that's fit to print. You know what I'm saying? Tampa Bay man, Tampa Bay as in, Tampa B as in Barbara, M as in Mangiano, live 20 minutes away. All right, I'm gonna have to decipher that one a little later, but there you go. Ms. Pillow, considering going to court for the Danny Masterson sentencing on August 4th, which courthouse is it, or what's the court's address? Is it the one on West Temple? It is the one on West Temple, but there might be more than one. It is the Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center. I forget the exact address because I just know how to get there. But there's only one Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center, and that is the one. And you want to go to the 9th floor. Once you're there, you just can't miss it. Amanda Mangles, I love your channel and been following you for years. It's been great to see you evolve and get better. I'm also one of the addicts to your channel. Well, that's awesome, Amanda. I'm glad you're as addicted watching the videos as I am addicted to doing them. It is the perfect partnership. Thank you for the super chat. Tom Jaco says, proud AA team member. I'm in for $170 when you hit 170,000 subscribers. How is our favorite SPTV dog? That's awesome, everyone. That's awesome. Tom, thank you so much for agreeing to make that donation when I hit 170,000 subscribers. Our favorite favorite SPTV dog, that is Goliath. He is doing great. One of these days, if he happens to be over here in this space while I'm doing a recording, I'll bring him back on camera. But yeah, he is doing great. He still acts like a puppy, even though he's at least 10 human years old now, but he's still a puppy at heart. Thank you so much. Angela Bernhardt, please put this towards an anniversary present for yourself. Some plug-in lights. Yes. It's so funny. Mark teases me for not splurging to get plug-in lights. I was splurging to get the battery-powered lights. It costs more money to get battery-powered shit than it does to buy shit that plugs in. I thought getting battery-powered lights was the way to go. It didn't occur to me that I was being silly. But yeah, there we go. Let's see. This light here should die soon. So let me preemptively swap this one out real quick. There we go. We're good for another couple hours. Anne Laporte, thank you for the super sticker. Let me see. Lance Whitaker, what happened with the person you accidentally outed? Okay, so you're talking about Reese. I mean, we've already discussed what happened on that, and Reese came on my channel and we discussed it. There have been some new developments, and Reese and I keep talking about doing a follow-up interview, and we really do need to do a follow-up interview because a lot of crazy shit has happened and it's worth discussing. So we'll have to make that happen really soon. Thank you for the super chat, Lance. Let's see. Stephanie Eastbrook. Getting flammy. Congratulations. Love and appreciate all you do. Special shout out for leadership shown last Mitch chat. Not many could pause the noble crusade to be vulnerable and apologize. Beautiful choice. You are awesome. Well, thank you, Stephanie. To be honest, I was slightly kidding when I apologized. But nonetheless, I think in retrospect, I must have just been in a really, really bad mood during that interview. Because I remember I just had no patience for anything other than an answer to the question that I asked. And usually I have a lot of patience for people telling stories and wandering and getting off into tangents. Because honestly, I know viewers have told me over and over and over again, people going off on tangents and telling stories and anecdotes is actually what people enjoy the most. But for some reason in that chat with Mitch, I was so focused in on please just answer the question I just asked, that I ended up kind of being a dick to him. So yeah, I mean, I did apologize. Look, I thank you for your kind words. That's all I should have said. Thank you for your kind words, Stephanie. Bo Beats. Hey, Aaron, could I please get a birthday SPTV hoodie? Maybe. By the way, I should apologize to everybody from the live stream I did probably almost 3 weeks ago now. The last time I picked winners for the giveaway, I still have not gone back and processed those winners. I mean, they're winners. I don't have to put quotes. I haven't processed those winners. And I feel so bad about not having processed those, the giveaways for those winners. It's why I haven't done any other giveaways the last 2 weeks. Cause I'm like, I cannot keep doing giveaways until I process the winners from the last giveaway. So anyway, how do I know it's really your birthday, Bo Beats? You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. All right. Miss Kim says, I procured a web address for SPTV before Scientology got it. Claire says she has ideas for it. I'm waiting on her to get back with me. I will email you about it. Well, Miss Kim, you said the magic word. You said Claire, because you know who's not lazy? Claire. Don't send me the info for SPTV. I promise you I won't do anything with it. I'm much too lazy. However, Mark and Claire will do something with it. They are not lazy. So there you go. Scarlet Begonias. Mark Vicente from The Vow has a YouTube channel. Would love to see you interview him. Yes. You know, Mike and Mark and Sarah Edmonds. Is it Edmonds or Edmondson? I can't remember. They've had each other on each other's podcasts. I can't remember if they went on each other's YouTube channels. And I think I saw recently that Shalise Ansola from the Cults to Consciousness channel, I think recently interviewed Mark Vicente. And it would be a lot of fun. We should do some sort of a collaboration there. So stay tuned for that. We might be able to make that happen. Okay, what is this? DCI Baby? DCI Baby. I was curious if there's any Scientology churches up in Canada, specifically in Montreal. The answer is yes. Toronto, Quebec, Vancouver. Oh, there's a really funny named one that I'm forgetting. There's at least 3 orgs in Canada, but I believe there's even more than 3. So yeah, the short answer is yes. Free Xenu Project. Thank you so much for all you do in the Aftermath Foundation and SPTV. I don't think I've super thanked you yet. We all appreciate you. Well, thank you so much, Free Xenu Project. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Stacy Y. Have you heard anything on the Unicorn Church of Scientology who spoke to Andrew Gold? Did she get an invitation to flag for a voluntold sec check? Stacey, are you talking about the woman who said Tom Cruise visited her in her dreams to bring her into Scientology? If that's who you're talking about, I haven't heard anything about it. If you're talking about something else, though, I have no idea what it is. So sorry about that if I'm getting it wrong there. Okay, we're going to be wrapping it up here shortly, you guys. It's just Jesse says, congratulations. Can you explain the parts of Scientology that are taught to Narconon members? Do they do TRs? Do they read History of Man? I thought Narconon was secular. Excellent question. Yeah, Narconon, they do the purification rundown. And they do, sorry guys, TRs and objectives, basically. They do TRs, they do the lower TRs, and do the upper indoctrination TRs. So they do TRs 0 to 4 and 6 to 9. And they do the objectives auditing. And they do the purification rundown. I believe the Purif and the TRs and the objectives are essentially everything that they do in the Narconon program. But I am in the process of setting up an interview with someone who went through the Narconon program and I think was even a staff member at Narconon. I think you guys are going to be really fascinated by that one. And so, yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay. Tampa B-man. Oh, pronunciation of my last name. Oh, Mangano. Hence Tampa B-man. Oh, got it. Now I understand. Thank you for that. Okay. Carol just saying. Carol S just saying. Try some nasal saline. It's around $2 and can do wonders. Well, Carol, I'm thinking the last thing you want to see me do is do a nasal saline flush on a live stream, causing everyone watching to spontaneously vomit all over whatever device they happen to be watching the live stream from. And this only happens when I'm doing live streams where I'm talking for 2 hours. This isn't something that happens normally. But if the price is right, I will do a nasal saline flush just right here on stream. For a $5,000 donation to the Aftermath Foundation, your dreams can come true. I'm sure that's not what you meant, but thank you for the amusement. Guys, we are going to call it quits right there. 2 hours and 49 minutes is officially the longest live stream I have ever done. A perfect way to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of uploading every day to YouTube. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So much more to come later this week. And needless to say, for the rest of the year. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,